Are you guys a big believer in making work friends, or would you rather keep work life separate from friend life?
I have a trouble keeping the two separated. Like when I was on the oil rig, I had oil rig friends who I hung out with like in secret outside of the oil rig.
Shh, don't tell anyone.
But then, they also realized that we didn't vibe the same way. Like I was going to fancy restaurants and bars. They wanted to go,
to like Buffalo Wild Wings and Chili's.
Probably, yeah.
They're my people.
And I said I wanted a good steak.
Yeah, I have to agree with Ed too. I find it hard to not make friends at work. Like you're with them all the time, and you just kind of vibe with the people.
Connection.
Yeah, I'm going to a Friendsgiving this weekend with some work friends.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
That's cool.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
I agree with you guys. I have a hard time not making friends. Good for us.
It also complicates things.
How?
It's just when you have to get those same friends to do shit at work.
Oh, no, that's...
I don't have that relationship with any of my coworkers. Yeah. Welcome back to Punch Drunk Nerd, the podcast where three friends, three amigos, three bambinos come together to talk about nerd shit. It's me, Luis Gonzalez. With me is...
Miguel Sanchez.
And Ed Bull.
And this week, we're going to talk about a lot of stuff. We're going to talk about the news, what we're into. I just finished Spider-Man 2, so we're going to talk about that for sure. Sorry, listeners, we've been talking about Spider-Man 2 for 3 weeks straight. We're also going to talk about the Marvels, Marvel Studios' new movie, The Marvels, a follow-up to Captain Marvel. And we might talk about The Killer, too.
I did have time to watch that again.
Okay, well then, we might type that on at the end of The Marvels.
Did anybody watch that, though?
I started it.
I did.
Okay, well, there you go.
I was at work.
A conversation.
Yeah.
Did everybody see The Marvels?
No.
Just kidding. Okay, let's
switch.
We switched it up. So me and Ed will have a conversation about The Killer, and then me and Miguel will have a conversation about Spider-Man 2. But before all that, we got some news. We're going to go over news. Wylie Coyote versus Acme. A movie that I just heard about this week, but is making big news. What's going on? Warner Brothers are trying to cut movies. So similarly to cutting Batgirl, they're cutting this movie, Wylie Coyote versus Acme, starring who, Miguel?
John Cena.
That's right, motherfucking John Cena. It tested apparently well, but the head of WB Animation was like, yo, this isn't the vibe. And then Zaslav was like, yeah, let's save money. Let's cut it. So we don't know. Now, the word on the street is that they're actually trying to pitch this to other places. So maybe a Netflix, maybe a Prime Video, maybe, who knows? We're going to have to wait and see. It's interesting.
This is one of those movies that, like, I never would have seen, don't care about. I mean, maybe my son would want to see it. Maybe. He doesn't know those characters.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, we're talking about it. So I'm like, was that the goal all along?
Did you see James Gunn? He tweeted or Instagrammed Wylie Coyote. That's it. A picture of Wylie Coyote and then a heart or something like that is captioned. Just like, I'm going to make my statement. And I think he like either produced or wrote some of it too. So he had
he was involved.
He was in it a little bit. Like it wasn't like his main thing.
No. His main thing right now is Superman.
Right.
Yeah. Won't stop talking about that.
Ed, what do you think about Wylie? Miguel. Let's keep it going.
I was just trying to keep it going. You were doing it. Go ahead.
Same thing. I didn't know there was all of this story going on. I just saw on our news Wylie Coyote versus Roadrunner movie? ? It sounds like it's not happening. So,
oh my God!
Like I said,
Luis, you knew this. You knew the news at least, right? Like you heard the news about it.
Oh, I've been following up on the story for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I was like, no, I didn't just like pull this out of my ass. This is
no.
It's just front page news, Ed, and you're on Reddit.
Ooh, front page? Really?
Of the internet.
We didn't want to talk about the SAG-AFTRA strike coming to an end. We wanted to talk about...
we didn't. No, we didn't.
We haven't talked about that.
You son of a bitch.
We haven't talked about that.
Sorry, that's my bad. That's my bad.
I mean, that was pretty big news. I felt like we were in a weird lull where we kind of like missed the opportunity to talk about the strike. We were in between something.
You guys have heard
we just couldn't talk about it. You know what happened.
It's over.
That's it. They're going to act. They're going to keep acting.
No,
I tell you what, man. You knew the moment the strike was over because my feed was flooded with all these celebrities being like, "Hey, can I talk about a movie that I did 7 months ago?" Oh, now we're
excited. Like Timothy Chalamet was on SNL.
Oh, that's why the internet went crazy. I was like, why am I getting so many Timothy SNL?
I haven't seen one in ages.
The way it was made and filmed, I was like, is this old? Like, this has already happened, right? Like 2 years ago? But
he has. It was his second time doing it. Yeah. And then guess who made an appearance too? Not the first person you'd think about necessarily for coming back after a strike, but maybe for SNL. But interesting since recent scandals. How about that?
The way I could not follow that sentence you just said. I was like, okay, hang on, I fell off. Let me fall back on.
He's a SNL alumni, I guess you would say. Oh no, not officially. Like okay, it was Alec Baldwin. He showed up at the end.
Thank God for producer Sarah in the background being like, keep it going.
Yeah, just like Ed. You lost them. Yeah, it was Alec Baldwin.
Wow. Did he play Trump?
No, he just came in on. No, I couldn't even say it. That's fucked up. I won't go. That's too dark. He came back and nobody was hurt. That's what I'll say.
Oh God, Ed.
Yeah, it was weird. He just kind of popped in for like the last skit, but yeah.
When it's on SNL, it's called a sketch.
Sketch. I'm sorry, skit.
All right. Denzel Washington is.
Coyote, I'm looking forward to that.
Denzel Washington is reportedly set to play Hannibal of Carthage. He's reteaming with who, Ed?
Antoine Fuqua.
That's right, and it's written by
John Logan,
who was also written
Logan.
Gladiator.
No.
He also wrote Logan Roy in Succession. Yeah, he did Gladiator. He also did another movie too.
I'm sure he did.
No, but it was like Napoleon. That's the movie.
Was it Napoleon?
Is he not writing Napoleon? Okay, if he's writing Napoleon and no. Am I thinking of Kingdom of Heaven? I'm thinking Kingdom of Heaven, right?
Okay, maybe. I'm pulling it up.
What a year that would be, though, if he had did Napoleon and Hannibal.
No, it wasn't.
I wrote John Carthage like an idiot.
Yeah, you fucking idiot! How dumb are you, huh?
Gladiator, The Aviator, Skyfall.
Okay, The Aviator. Oh,
and then some bad ones like Alien Covenant, Spectre.
Maybe it was The Aviator I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think
never mind.
Anyway, so yeah. Denzel Washington and Antoine Fuqua worked previously on Training Day together.
Mm-hmm.
They did one or two of the Equalizers together, if not all of them. And then there was another one. Oh, he did the Magnificent Seven remake. So the cool thing to take away,
with Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about him later.
Save the segue.
Yeah. Okay. The exciting thing about this is like Denzel Washington. Like there's always been like word of a Hannibal project over the last 20 or so years. Vin Diesel was working on a project for a while. It's a pretty ambitious, like, epic, sword and sandal epic. Hannibal of Carthage was one of the few people who was able to defeat the Romans in open battle, and he was famous for crossing the Alps with elephants and attacking Rome. So it's a cool story, a lot of potential there, especially with Denzel Washington. The bad thing is that it might be directed by Antoine Fuqua.
Whoa, coming in hot with an opinion.
I just so he also directed 2004's King Arthur with Clive Owen and Keira Knightley. You guys remember that movie?
Barely.
Yeah. It wasn't great. The Magnificent Seven, not a great movie. Training Day is fine, but it's really Denzel Washington that you talk about that movie, right? So, I don't think he's great. So this is like a little bit of a mixed bag for me. Like, I wish them all the best. I'm excited for Denzel Washington. Hopefully, like, this movie actually does happen. Like, that'll be a awesome role for him. But
I get it. I get it. I can see it.
This is one of his things. It's marred by that. He hasn't really done anything where I've been like, oh yeah, shit. I think he also directed Four Brothers. I might be wrong about that.
No, that was John Singleton. I just watched that this week.
Did you really?
Okay, Miguel was on that.
Yeah.
Miguel was ready.
It just happened. It was one of those movies that I had movies on in the background at work this week because I was working on a bunch of just like silly things, and I needed something that I didn't have to pay attention to because I've seen it a million times.
Yeah.
Four Brothers, John Singleton.
Four Brothers, great movie. R.I.P.
Yeah, love that movie.
Yeah.
You know, I tell you what. This is. I'm getting to this, and this is gonna. I'm gonna connect this to it. I'm getting to the point where I'm ready to delete Twitter. I'm ready to just get off Twitter.
Whoa, really?
I think I am over it, dude. Man, it is officially for me. Just I tried to stick with it because the few funny accounts that I follow. But when I saw Hannibal trending today and Denzel Washington, I clicked on it and it was like, oh, Denzel Washington's going to play Hannibal. And every single thread on Twitter was like, well, Hannibal wasn't black. And I was like, oh my God. Okay. Like, just unnecessary conversation. They would be like, wow, blackwashing or whatever. And I was like, whoa, okay, settle down. Like, it's Denzel Washington, okay? Like,
show him respect
of all time. Like, who cares what the person looked like in real life? But no, man, it's just Twitter has become that kind of echo chamber now.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh God.
If not, was it not always? But just
no, baby, it wasn't. No, baby, it wasn't. Okay.
That was a golden age.
There was a shift. Yes, there was.
That's tough. That's why you just look at headlines because you just say, okay, I don't really need to dive deep into the comments. I know what people are going to say.
Oh yeah, I never read the comments. I just need the news,
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I mean, exciting possibilities. Maybe this is the one that Antoine Fuqua was working towards all along, and this will be. He also did that Will Smith movie, Emancipation, that Apple movie.
Yeah.
That came out after the slap.
Right, that's why. Yeah.
Post slap. Oh, that's why. Yeah, that's why.
The life was a blur post slap.
Yeah. It's like the pandemic now. It's like
that's Hollywood's COVID was when Will Smith. You remember before and after that moment.
Yeah.
I tell you what, man. Seeing Denzel Washington on an elephant. Is he going to ride this elephant?
Theoretically, yeah. That's
Famously,
what they did.
Hannibal of Bebelzebub would ride elephants.
They got to have Denzel riding an elephant, like him putting his arms up, and then boom, title Hannibal.
They tried to kill my wife.
That's
on
good.
top of an elephant.
That's good. He's just doing American Gangster on an elephant. Okay, that's good. That's not it. Denzel.
Hey man, I'm calling you on top of this elephant here.
It's a real life elephant. Quit dicking around.
I'm sure it'll be CG elephants these days.
Yeah, it'll be good. That'll be nice. So we don't know when this trailer comes out, but we do have other trailers we're going to talk about. Some trailers popped up. I think this is the second trailer for this movie, Rebel Moon. Except this time we got a new part of the title.
One. Yeah.
We got Rebel Moon Part 1, A Child of Fire.
Yes, Miguel.
All right.
This is man. I started this trailer a couple days ago. Whenever this came out,
Did you finish it?
I started the trailer, and I'm like, man, I think I got maybe 30 seconds into it, and I was like, I don't care to finish this. And I
You're not wrong for doing that.
No, I was like, what I kept thinking was, as I saw a headline or a tweet or something the other day that was like, oh, Rebel Moon takes place in the same universe as the Army of the Dead or whatever that he made, that like zombie casino movie. And I was just like, Ed, are you telling me I'm wrong? Or
No, that's wrong.
Okay, I was like, I'll just tell you what I recollect, okay? Like I'm
Zack Snyder.
not...
Just stop it, Zack. Stop
it. As soon as he said that, or I read that, I was like, I don't care. Because they were already talking about, this is a Star Wars movie. Like, this is his version of Star Wars. I'm like, okay, whatever. That's kind of like, derivative. And now that he's like, oh, it's a part of the same universe, you might as well be like, oh, and Batman and Superman will show up in this bitch too.
And the Sucker Punch girls.
Yeah, and look, it's Leonidas in a speedo. This movie did not look. I'm sorry, I'm kind of shitting on it. I'm sorry, I don't care about this movie. So,
highly most anticipated Netflix movie of the December season. Not.
Good one,
yeah, no, it just didn't seem very exciting. It's kind of monotonous colors. There's some cool visuals like the Spider Lady and the Anthony Hopkins robot with antlers, but and I think that's the official name for it too, the Anthony Hopkins robot with antlers. But it was just like I get it.
And especially this part one bullshit. Some of
the space sequences, like with ships and stuff, the graphics didn't look very good.
Talk that talk, Ed Ball. It didn't look very good.
You guys know how I'm an expert on graphics.
I don't know why.
My eyes don't lie to me.
You've turned into this CGI critic, dude.
The creator turned me into a snob, man.
Did it?
It was so beautiful. It was real. Though it just it looked cartoony whenever it went up to space. I don't know. Maybe that was just me, but
yeah.
And if this is going to end up being like a 9-hour ordeal,
good thing you said that, Ed, because there's going to be a director's cut combining part 1, part 2 together, and adding, I think, another minutes?
3.
No.
Great. Well, best of luck to him. Netflix seems to be the ideal partner for Zack Snyder, so do it, man.
Netflix trying to franchise. They're trying to find their thing to just make series and movies out of.
Turning directors into whores.
No, I was just, it's a payday, dude. You show up and you just get money from them. You might as well do it because eventually Netflix isn't going to exist. You know what I mean?
Wow.
They're eventually going to go out of business. Might as well rake in all the cash that you can while they're in this windfall of money.
Oof.
You know what line I hated in this trailer? There's this line that says, "What do they want?" And they go to the girl and she says,
"Everything."
Everything. Dun, 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 dun. I was okay. That was 10 seconds into the trailer.
And I'm pretty sure it just feels like we must have said this before. He makes movies for the trailers. You know what I mean? It seems like all of the blocking, all of the framing, everything is done because he's like, ooh, this is going to look good in the trailer.
Yeah.
And it's
I get that. That's why it's all in slow-mo.
Were there slow-mo ones in this one?
Yeah, there were quite a few. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think it's because I was doing this. I have 2 screens at work.
What is more interesting? I don't know.
Yeah, switching from screen to screen. Okay, I get the idea.
That last shot where that guy is diving at a robot or a machine.
Yeah.
But they're all right, we've seen that. I think you did it, Zack Snyder, in another movie.
300.
300. And probably Justice League. And something else.
And the best time it was done was in 300.
It was. That movie's a good movie. I'll give him that. 300 was a good movie.
I like that movie too. Sometimes I think about dying. There's also a movie called Sometimes I Think About Dying that's coming out by Oscilloscope. How do you pronounce this? Oscilloscope?
Oscilloscope.
Okay. Oscilloscope.
Oscilloscope.
Why'd you let me say it 10 times before you could come in?
He said, no, I'll let you keep going.
How many more times? Give me 5 more.
If I help you, you won't learn.
Well, I've already forgotten. So, can you say it again?
Oscilloscope.
Oscilloscope.
I don't know why we're talking about the production company. Fuck.
This is a movie. Go ahead,
Ed. This is a trailer. Hey, I'll start with a question. What do you guys ever wonder what happened to Daisy Ridley after Star Wars?
No, I don't ever think about anyone in Star Wars.
Actually, I do think about where her career is going.
Yeah, like sometimes she thought about dying, and this is her new movie.
Okay.
Um, that's how we should have started it. Anyway, so this is about her as a woman who often thinks about dying. I'm going to pull up the official synopsis. I'm sorry.
Riveting, Ed. Thank you.
Ed,
So
I'll
much
tell you.
for
I'll tell you
sharing.
what. As you come up with this, you know what vibes I get? I'm like, oh, this is the new 2023 version of Garden State. Okay, we got a person who's like depressed,
You just
going through
ruined
life,
it for me.
and then they're like, here's this
come
person,
on.
but it's all in a workplace. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But elevated, Ed. Elevated. Yeah.
The cinematography is very striking. Like
It is very striking.
It was like almost like a comedic, or dark comedy of melancholia, maybe.
Yes.
With
Beautiful.
that kind of vibrancy.
Melancholia.
I like the way you
That's
said
what I
it.
said. Fran, who likes to think about dying, makes the new guy at work laugh, which
Fran.
leads to dating and more. Now, the only thing standing in their way is Fran herself. So yeah,
No, but there's some really compelling imagery that happens. Like, you're very poetic the way that it's kind
and
of
she
laid out. So,
Daisy Ridley looks good. Like it's
She's
very
doing great.
like a stark contrast to what we
Rebel
got
Moon.
to know as Ray. Yeah,
Oh.
what?
So I was contrast.
and Rebel Moon.
I'm
Yeah,
just saying, it pulls you in. You're like, ooh, there's so much intrigue. There's so much interest. Like that, we could be watching a lot in this movie. I feel, check it out. I'm excited for this movie. This got me excited.
Me too. I think that looks kind of good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Miguel, thoughts? Oscilloscope.
What do you think? Are you going to see
no.
Daisy Ridley in action again?
No, I'm not.
I'll say this is good, Daisy Ridley.
Is
Could be
it?
good.
Yeah.
She was in Murder on the Orient Express too.
It's better
I
than
guess,
that,
huh?
though. She's
Yeah.
better in this.
Hang on a
than
second. Hang on a second. That movie was okay. We don't have to get into it, but that movie was good. That first one was good.
So she's better in this upcoming movie than that movie. So if you liked her in that, then
So Miguel will see it probably with that Stubbs card, right, Miguel?
yeah, it's not a card. It's also not Stubbs.
Which one did you get?
It's the AMC A list, baby. Okay.
Oh, kill me.
Which I want to talk about that. I want to talk about that in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
about A-list.
I want to talk about Ed's got a little. You got news to share, right, Ed?
Yeah, let's talk about it now.
You came into
it's any use. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm officially a member of another club.
Which is?
Unlimited. I guess we're going to talk about it. I joined the Regal Unlimited Club to get me through this awards season. And yeah, like I said, I have not seen a single movie yet with it.
For those at home, Luis kind of started this trend. He got me on the AMC A list.
Yep.
Ed is a loyal customer of the Regal.
Well, it's because you're the closest to him.
Chains. Yeah,
it is the most convenient.
The least gas to get there.
I want to make the most of it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, and it's not a bad deal. $21.99 a month for unlimited movies.
Which deal did you get? Because see, AMC A List has one tier. You just get one. You can get all of these. But Regal has like different tiers, doesn't it? Two tiers. Can you talk about the tiers?
Okay. So, for instance, I think probably in like city areas like Houston, you don't have as much of a choice. Like you can get a Regal Unlimited, which is accessible to most theaters. But the Regal theaters near me are Unlimited Plus only locations. And that might have something to do with the location or they just renovated, so it's newer seating and all of that shit. So maybe that's taken into account. So it's just more locations, but it is, I think that's only like a $2 difference between the two.
Okay. And baby, you're saying unlimited. I have a question. Yeah. Does unlimited truly mean unlimited? Explain to me.
You can see as many movies in a day as long as they're not overlapping times, and
you can see more than 3 movies a week.
Yeah. As many movies you want in that month. But
now
it could be the same movie in the same day, and you can upgrade to like a premium viewing, like IMAX and shit like that.
Well, upgrade, but the upgrade's free.
It's not included.
It's not included.
Okay.
I don't think. I haven't tried that. I haven't.
Okay. See, AMC A-List includes all premium formats, including Prime, Dolby, and IMAX.
That's right. But you only get 3 a week.
I think that's what the next tier is for Regal.
Which one?
Is the premium, like...
Ed, baby, if it's only $2 more a month, just get that one so that you can see IMAXs whenever you want.
Well, here's the thing. First off,
tell me the thing.
I'm very selective about what I see in IMAX. Number 2, I don't do the RPX and shit like that.
I actually want to try that. I do want to go see a movie in the RX. What is it called again? The one with the
RPX, right?
RPX. Is that the one where it extends the screen like really wide?
Oh,
have you been to those?
Are you talking about the ones that does this thing where it comes to the side?
Yeah,
it's jarring. It's not worth it.
I want to experience. Is it happening throughout the whole movie or just in scenes?
I'll tell you my story of the only time I've had that happen. I went to go see Spider-Man where he goes to Europe, Far From Home. And I went to the bathroom right at the end of the trailers, and I missed the start of the movie just by like a minute. And I sat down, it was normal. And then maybe 10 or 20 minutes into the film, whenever he's like fighting the water monster or whatever for the first time, it's like when Mysterio first shows up, all of a sudden the 2 screens lit up and I went, what the fuck? Yeah, dude. I mean, it was all of a sudden I was like, what is happening? And Kristen was like, oh yeah, you missed it. Like they're doing it. It's like a thing. Yeah. And then the entire scene, I was just like, what is this? And it was nothing. It was like, imagine the widescreen. Like you go from full screen to widescreen and you go like, oh, I see the fucking corner of the street a little bit more. That's all it was. It was basically just like extendoed. And it wasn't like Spider-Man like reached all the way over here. It went like, like, you know what I mean?
I wasn't expecting that much. I mean, yeah, it's like when you put lights behind TVs now and it like glows the same color as like I'm entering into a sun. Now the room is yellow. Is it? Is this the same situation? Like he's fighting in the water, so onto your left and right is just more water, right?
It's just more of the scenery. It's not like anything.
I don't mind that. I feel like that could be. Is it not any immersive at all? It doesn't feel immersive at all in any way, or is it just?
No, it was jarring. Annoying? It's like when Nolan does IMAX scenes, but not the whole movie. And so you're watching it, and it fills the screen, and then it's back down again, and you're like, okay.
It's going to be worse though, right? Because it's like filling your peripherals, no?
Yeah. And it's.
I like my peripherals filled though.
Nah. No,
you not
it. Would not do again. But Ed, listen, baby, I'm jealous that you can see unlimited movies. More than 3 movies.
Which let's see if I have the time. You know what I mean? Like if I get a day to my fucking self, you bet I'm gonna blow.
But Ed, how much was it? How much is the cost of it? Like how much is one ticket for? Typically, you pay.
So like on a typical movie night
on Tuesday.
Not on Tuesday, like around $13 a ticket.
Okay, so
2D admission.
2 movies is and you're
already paid for.
Already paid for.
3 Tuesday nights. You know what I mean?
Boom, boom.
Yeah. So I'll make it work. It'll be nice to have that kind of freedom, especially going into the holidays, where I'm just like grabbing at any movie I can.
Yeah.
I just got backed up this weekend, unfortunately.
Well, when you watch movies in the holidays, they're going to be playing a bunch of trailers. Another trailer they're going to probably play this holiday season is Inside Out 2. Did you guys see this trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Let me say something. I'm not like a huge Inside Out fan. I know it's a good movie and it got me in the feels when it needed to. But it's not like one of those Pixar movies I think of.
You were running to the theater for a second movie.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And now they're introducing anxiety, just what my anxiety needs. So
it's just one more emotion they're introducing.
They're introducing more than one.
Is it?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
like, yeah.
that's the twist.
She has
at
a
the end of
line.
the
She has
trailer.
a line in the trailer, right? And they're like, "What do you
Yeah.
mean more?"
Done. Coming soon.
What do you
Right.
think the other? What do you think the other feelings are?
Okay, let's think back to your childhood, Ed. What were feelings you were feeling in that?
Well, I
moment?
didn't know what they were called. I didn't know.
They gotta have
what
horny in there,
anxiety
right, or
was.
something. I mean, like honestly.
Oh
like,
yeah.
That'll be hilarious for this Disney Pixar movie. Hey kids!
Horny.
Oh yeah, here's the old horny. Like, what would they
It should
call
be
it?
voiced by it should be voiced by Andy Dick or something.
No. Okay.
It's
I'm trying to look up who anxiety is. Maya Hawke.
Maya Hawke. I could have told you that.
Oh, well, nobody told me that. Disgust. Was that there before?
Disgusting.
It's Mindy Kaling.
Yeah, but it's
No.
not Mindy Kaling. But whoever replaced Mindy sounds pretty good.
Liza Lapira?
Yeah.
Mindy
Oh, so
Kaling's
they
not
could've
coming
even-
back for this.
No, not her or Bill Hader
Oh, sad.
because of money.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
So they
Pixar
have-
not forking it out anymore,
they-
is they?
They're doing a Tony Hale is going to be doing anxiety. I mean, depression.
Cheap Bill Hader.
Right? No, scared. Going through all the emotions. He's going to do the Bill Hader's voice.
Wow.
Oh.
Um,
It looks
Like,
okay.
yeah.
If they bring Bing Bong back, it's a cash grab. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You can't bring Bing Bong back.
That's why,
No.
honestly,
That
that,
noise.
that scene makes me not
Sorry.
want to watch that movie ever again. That one scene. I'm just like, well, this
Yeah.
is the last time I'm seeing this movie.
No,
It was
I haven't seen that movie
That was
in
too
forever.
depressing to me.
And
Yeah,
then
it
my
was.
kid watched it, and it got to that scene, and I was like, "Oh fuck no, I'm not doing this again."
Yeah.
It's
Like the end of Toy Story is sad, but it's heartfelt and it's honest and it's organic. You know, like you guys know what I mean. Like when
yeah,
Woody says goodbye to Andy, like that shit hits a fucking chord. Inside Out was just like a little more depressing. Yeah,
Mhm,
a little more
mhm.
real, maybe in a way. I don't know. I just like Toy Story 3 better. How about that?
So no Pixar movie will be good enough for Ed. Got it.
That's not true. Ratatouille 2.
Fuck my dick.
Ratatouille.
Oh, it's right in there. I bet they would make a sequel for that. for sure.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my god, people, the internet loves that movie. I don't get me started. But I.
Why do you hate it so much?
I hate that movie.
Rats.
Why? Why do you
It-
hate that movie?
On pure concept alone, I don't give a shit. I know it's a cartoon kids movie.
Uh,
I would be furious. I've said this so many times. I would be furious if I went to some upscale fancy restaurant and they bring me my plate that I paid who knows how much money for, and they go, "Oh, by the way," they whisper in my ear, "A fucking rat made this food." I would be furious. I'd say, "Give me my money back." Someone should shut this restaurant down. I mean, it's one thing if like a rodent scurries in from the outside and you go, "Oh shit, there's a rat in here. Get it out of here."
yeah.
They have the rat in the kitchen making the food. I'm sorry. No. And you want to tell kids that this is okay? No.
I don't think any kid like grew up thinking like, oh yeah, well I want to work with rats when I grow up.
Hey, you don't know that. Some impressionable kid was like, "Hey, mommy, let me help in the kitchen," and they bring in some rodent from outside. Bit to shit, probably have rabies.
The image of you like sitting in a fancy French restaurant and the waiter leaning over is like whispering in your ear.
He's like, bonjour,
Monsieur, Monsieur, just to let you know, your dinner has been made by rats.
by a what?
By rodents.
Like, come again, Padre? I didn't hear that one. All right.
By sewer rats.
It's disgusting. And then at the end of the movie, they all
He washes.
don't tell me they wash the rats. Fuck off, okay? They put them in that little machine. They get like a little steam bath, and they're like, "We're good to go, right?" Never mind all the diseases internally that I carry.
Not in Disney World, baby.
It's disgusting. I won't support it. I won't support it.
There you go. Inside Out 2, the sequel we didn't ask for, but we're getting. Talking about sequels and remakes or whatever we didn't ask for. Did you guys know that they were making a Garfield movie? And that it is starring no less than the same person that we were joking about voicing another famous character last week. It's Chris Pratt.
He's back at it.
I thought this was a meme when I first saw a still of it, because I saw the title and then it said Chris Pratt and I was like, oh, funny. And then no, it just kept coming up officially. And then it was like, oh, this is real. So
they're just going to keep feeding him Italian food in these movies. And
that's Mario. That's Garfield.
Honestly, I don't even know how to feel about this. I'm just so shook to the core that we keep doing this. Yeah. Like, this is an ongoing conversation the world is having, and you're just like, you know what? Chris Pratt is Garfield. Just like,
and like, why? Why does this keep happening?
I know, but here's the thing: is like we're never going to see this movie, right?
Yeah, I'll probably watch it.
He's going to use one of his 3 movies that week.
No. I'll wait till it comes on VOD.
It was, I don't know. Like, yeah, if you think about it, sure. Does he sound like you think Garfield might? Like, you can picture Chris Pratt really loving lasagna.
Look, a part of me says, okay, it's not that bad. But the thing is, just like the overall joke of just Chris Pratt coming back over and over again, like it's just becoming like that career choice is a meme in and of itself. You know what I'm saying?
And he's got to know it, right? It's got to be consciously done. Nobody is that unaware.
Right? I was just kind of shocked more than anything. Miguel, did you see this trailer?
I did. And I think I sat there and I was like, well, I couldn't even tell you what Garfield sounds like. Okay. Like,
it's not bad, I guess.
So if this is his, it doesn't, I don't give a shit. You know what I mean?
Good. I'm glad we talked about that one then. Another little animated movie that looks a little bit more fun. It's a Merry Little Batman.
Oh.
And this trailer dropped today, I think.
Tuesday, November 14th. I did. I put this on here. Yeah, I just was on the internet and I saw this and I was like, oh, it's Batman. It's new and it's Christmas themed. I figured we'd want to talk about it.
And coming out on Amazon Prime.
Yes. So this is like, what's it called? Warner Discovery's way of making money. They're kind of selling off these properties
through other streamers.
You know, you're so right. I'm seeing this all the time now. HBO content on other sites. I mean, like almost immediately. Netflix, you get so many HBO shows now, and it's like, wow, man, they're selling it all off.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm trying to watch this trailer while you talk.
I like the animation style. It looks fun. It looks kind of goofy, and not like like a dumb kids way, but like a clever way. I don't know, but the animation is unique. The characterization of Batman, Joker, it's different, with like a little Christmas theme to it, like Joker's stealing Christmas or something like that.
Yeah.
And Luke Wilson is Batman. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was taken aback when they were like having lunch and then Batman was like talking to Damian. And I was like, whoa, I've never seen Batman so like stable. So mentally stable, you know what I mean?
Like, so wait, this is just like Batman. I'm confused.
Yeah, so this is just like a regular dad, but I guess the premise is that like kind of Gotham is sort of saved, so he's kind of retired or something like that.
Yeah, pulled it up.
So he's a little bit more chill.
Damian Wayne confronts enemies in his city after finding himself alone at Wayne Manor. Oh, it says like a Home Alone deal.
Yeah,
you got Luke Wilson as Batman. Yeah. Let's see, James Cromwell is Alfred Pennyworth.
Wow.
You guys seen It's Always Sunny?
Yeah.
You guys know Cricket?
Yeah.
He's the Joker.
Oh, that's good.
So that could be fun. Yeah. Anyway, it looks fun. That's coming out December 8th on Amazon Prime. Look it up.
We're going to talk to Marvels now. What a transition.
Right. Oh, shit, yeah.
So
you didn't
spoilers alert, yeah.
Yeah, spoilers alert, I didn't see it. I want you guys to be able to talk about it spoilerifically. But can I get your initial thoughts, and then I'll tune out if you guys want to get deep, because I probably will see this. I just, again, haven't had the opportunity yet.
Yeah.
So who's going for Miguel? You saw it twice.
No, Vivi, no. I booked a showing to go see it, and then I got sidetracked with packing, and so the showtime came up, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'll just skip it, and I'll just go see it again."
Oh, okay.
So you only saw it the one time. Yeah, I was like, "Damn, all right."
I was too. I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, Miguel's like riding high, and he's going to come in with some hot thoughts or something.
Oh, buddy, I have some thoughts. No, I only saw it the one time. Well, listen, the burrito was problematic. Okay.
Oh.
So I had a little night to myself. I went to go see this movie. I stopped by this Torchy's. It's a taco restaurant, and I got myself a grande burrito, which was absolutely delicious. But after a couple of beers and this big heavy burrito, I got sleepy. I got real sleepy. Okay, and. At one point, I leaned the chair all the way back, and I was like, wow, I can't believe how far back it goes. And next thing I know, I was asleep. Man, I was out. I was out. So I actually didn't see this whole movie. Okay. But in spirit, I did. You know what I mean?
Well, I can see any holes here. You know what I mean?
The first hour of it, I was there.
Okay.
All right, Luis. Well, give us some of your general thoughts.
So this was okay. Listen. Honestly, on the whole, at the end of it, walking out of the theater, how I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling like I had a good little fun, enjoyable time with this. It feels like a kind of like a TV movie sometimes. It's interesting because we're doing a lot of TV, and I feel like, oh well, we can just use those tricks for these movies now, and it does give it like kind of a cheapened look. Everything's just kind of pretty much like set blocking and framing. There's not like much experimentation that way, besides like some VFX shots. So that's kind of there. And then also a lot of the script is disjointed with things just like, oh, we got to call this back. We got to call this back. We got to call this back. So much work is done doing that kind of homework that it takes up all the real estate for storytelling. But outside of all that, even with those things, Kamala is very enjoyable as this character.
Yeah.
She is so genuine, and when she comes on screen, she just kind of brightens the whole thing up. Nice. And once it gets going, I'm sitting there like, you know what? For what this is, I'm here for it. I would rather watch this than I would watch like Ant-Man or even Thor,
Ant-Man 3.
Love and Thunder. You know what I mean? Yeah, Ant-Man 3.
Yeah.
Those movies are like a hard time for me to get through. This one's like, yeah, I could put it on the background, and it's not perfect, but it's enjoyable. Some of the characters are endearing. Kamala's parents, Ed, you saw Miss Marvel, so you know how endearing her parents are. Yeah, they show up through the whole thing. They're like they're characters. Like they're like the side.
They know a good thing when they see it. Does Marvel?
They carry them all the way. They carry them all the way through. They have two funny bits like that made me guffaw when it was happening.
Nice.
So I don't know if I want to spoil those either, but they're just like there are these fun little things, even though it was not a perfect.
Well, I'm glad she was able to shine a bit. I was really hoping that they were able to follow up Miss Marvel with something strong as a testament to her character.
If you liked her as a character, you're gonna have a good time with this movie. I would say this movie is.
I like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel too. I know that's not the same for everyone.
And there was some. It's tight. It's hard because this was kind of a tight movie. It was an hour 47. You know what I mean?
Short.
So it was short, and you could feel it too. Like we got to get going, and we got to establish all these things. And so, if we spent little time developing her relationship and Monica Rambeau, because they have a thing that's going on, but if we just like really took some moments there, it could have been pretty effective, and I think it could have helped elevate Brie Larson's character. Like she is obviously very, she's a powerful superhero, and like pretty much kind of her sequel. But I feel like we could have given her more things to work with, which would have been great. But I know it's not doing well in the box office, but I also feel like there is some superhero fatigue following Blue Beetle, The Flash, and just Marvel, Marvel's view in general with like Thor and Ant-Man, like all of the
Guardians.
secret invade. Well, Guardians is the second biggest box.
Guardians was like the only ones that did good this year.
Yeah,
well,
and then
that's what I mean. Though. That's still like a lot of superhero,
right?
Movies,
and you got to talk about the TV shows. Like Secret Invasion left a really nasty taste in everybody's mouth.
Yeah.
So it's like when this came, it just like was the perfect storm of all of these things coming together, and then
because Nick Fury
other like
is present,
stupid factors of why people whatever, and so it's unfortunate. Like I went to the theater and it was like not that many people in it, so I felt it when people were saying like in the. Like it was low box office. I could sense it going into the. It was like we went at Saturday at 6 and it was not full.
Wow, that's crazy. I went on a Monday and I thought, oh yeah, like I showed you guys my seat. I bought the ticket that morning. I was the only person in there. I checked it again like an hour before the movie started, and I was the only seat bought. It wasn't until like right before the movie started that 2 other seats got bought in the middle of the theater. And it was the 3 of us just watching this movie. By the way, speaking of theater experience, when I walked in, the fluorescent lights were on. Did I tell you guys this already? The fluorescent lights were on. Not just the theater lighting, but like the overhead. I
was like,
and it was,
whoa.
You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, and it was bad. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to sit through the trailers. And at the end of the trailers, if they're still on, then there's a problem. And so I had to go I had to go flag down like a concession stand person. And I was like, the lights are on. You have to turn them on. And she was like, okay, thank you. She got on her little shoes. Like the lights are on in theater 14. And by the time I sat down, they had turned them off. It was fine. And I was mainly just worried because I didn't want them to see me eat this burrito.
Yeah. The broad daylight.
Yeah. I didn't want to see myself eating this burrito. It was not pretty. I had a good time. I thought the intro, I was hooked. It was just that all the elements were working against me, and I just kind of passed out. So I'm looking forward to finishing it. I did see the end credit scene at home on my phone, which I'm curious to talk about. Ed, do you care about this spoiler?
How about you guys talk about it, and I'm going to look it up real quick.
How about
okay, fine.
When are you going to watch this movie or no?
Are you asking me or Ed?
Theaters? Sorry, Ed,
I'll watch it eventually. Yeah. I mean, I guess I'm trying
to see if I can. I guess I have. I'm just trying to talk around it to see if I can. I feel like things are being introduced in a weird. Okay,
I don't care.
Then you spoil it.
But let me look it up real quick. I want to see
spoiler. Look down in our show notes in our description. You can jump to a part where we talk about something else.
We'll have the time stamp for you.
I always put
here.
I always put the time code in the description. So if you ever want to know a specific thing, just go to the description. Okay.
All right. I'm getting off for a second. You guys talk about it though. Just a second.
Listen, conceptually, I had it spoiled like long before I ever saw.
I felt like Reddit spoiled me too, and I wasn't trying to find it.
Man, what I was just kind of thinking was, I think they're just leaking this just to get people to come see this movie, or maybe not because it didn't work. You know what I mean? But so I was like, okay, they're officially going to introduce the X-Men. I don't know if he can hear me from his headphones.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It all feels very weird. Like this whole introduction. Like first we kind of like quasi get it in Doctor Strange, and then we quasi get it in Miss Marvel, and then we quasi got it in Wakanda Forever. Like there's been mutant breadcrumbs, and I kind of thought we would just have it like introduced in a grander way instead of this weird
let's do it.
Yeah. I don't know. It just kind of feels like it's like. I don't know. I'm not liking the way. I guess some people are saying that this could be the doorway in for Deadpool 3 because now it's like, oh, we're in this other universe that Monica Rambeau's in.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just so anticlimactic the way that they've been introduced so far.
Yeah.
That
I will say
kind of like
the CGI didn't look great, but I liked that they reshaped him to look like the Beast from the cartoon show.
I didn't think about that, but that's true.
That's what he looks like, yeah? And it's like that Multiverse of Madness was the 90s X-Men Charles Xavier. Yeah. They're going to do that cartoon show. They're going to like reboot the cartoon show. And I just kind of like that that's a look of the X-Men that they're going for, maybe for this Disney X-Men, you know? I mean, Wolverine.
good
You've seen the
prediction.
shots. He's in the yellow and blue spandex.
So yeah, we're gonna
you
get
know?
a Cyclops looking exactly like Cyclops from
Like,
the comics. Yeah,
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's my prediction, and I wouldn't have thought about that except for the way that it's like they purposefully shaped Beast, because Beast in the X-Men 3, I guess that was X-Men 3, right?
Yeah.
He looked nothing like that. You know what I mean?
No.
So when I heard Kelsey Grammer was coming back for it, I was like, oh, okay, they're just going to put him in that again, and he'll be in the suit or whatever, and that'll be that.
I really hope they fix it, because I know their VFX are like rushed, but I hope that they take the time to like make that look good. Do you know what I mean? Not the VFX artists. I hope production gives them what?
Yes. It's not the artist's fault.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm laughing because I'm looking at Ed right now. He looks like he's really struggling. He's probably just trying to figure out how to open up YouTube on his phone. My gosh, he looks so baffled. Like, what do you think he's looking at right now? Look at him. You guys can go to youtube.com/@punchdrunknerd. Ed is he's super locked in right now.
You see us, Ed? That was one of the closing things, and then the other one was that they're announcing, obviously, the Young Avengers, which we've been talking about, saying that was going to be a thing with Kamala Khan, Kate Bishop, Hawkeye, and then could be, what's her name? Florence Pugh, Black Widow. Could be.
Did they actually say that in the movie? They tied that in?
Well, Kamala just saying, I have an initiative with you for Hawkeye, for Kate Bishop's character, is them saying they're going to have one, like a young team.
Kate Bishop.
I don't remember that moment.
When she's like hiding in Kate Bishop's hotel apartment, she's like, Kate Bishop has something to tell you. You don't remember that?
Interesting. No. Is that the tail end of the movie before the credits start?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gone. I didn't see that. I was out.
Oh, you woke up. Okay. Well.
Yeah. Sorry.
I
Ed,
feel
what did
bad
you
if
think?
I spoiled it.
No, it's okay. That makes sense. And I don't give a shit about the Young Avengers, so it doesn't matter.
So who's Monica Rambeau's mum supposed to be? I know she was like a Captain America variant.
No.
Captain.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yes. And Doctor Strange.
She was another Captain Marvel.
There you go.
Okay, so
But she was also best friends with her in the Captain Marvel movie.
And somehow because that was in the past.
Yes, and she's dead in the regular timeline. She dies during the blip.
I remember that from WandaVision.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, good for her. Her mummy's alive, but she doesn't know who she is.
Yeah, there was something else in that scene. Did you happen to see anything else going on?
Well, I wanted to clear that up first, but yeah, Beast is there. Dr. Beast. Dr. Beast.
That's your boy, Ed. That's your boy.
Kelsey Grammer?
Yeah.
Was that him? I couldn't tell.
Yeah,
it is.
I couldn't tell. It was like the bad audio. Well, good for him. Good for him. Good for him. He looks younger as a CGI interpretation of that character, yeah. The animation didn't look great, right?
No, we were talking about that. I was also mentioning, I was telling Luke how he looks like the 90s cartoon version of Beast.
Yeah, totally.
You know what I mean? And
I always thought, Kelsey Grammer does a great Beast. That's such an appropriate casting, it just makes sense as that character. So, yeah. But that just kind of goes down the whole rabbit hole, like, all right, which X-Men are coming back? Which ones can you just not live without?
Well, I just assume if they're cameos, they're not sticking around. That's my opinion. You know what I mean?
Fair
like,
yeah.
I don't think they are signing on for these multi-picture deals. They're just like, hey, we need to introduce you now. So how about you hop in real quick, and then don't worry, we'll just recast you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Luis, what were your thoughts on it?
I've already forgotten what it was. I think we were saying, what are your thoughts on the fact that they're like trickling out all these mutant stuff? Like we saw it in Doctor Strange, and we saw it in Miss Marvel, then we saw it in Black Panther, and now we're seeing it here. It's like,
I mean, it seems I can't even say logical because the Marvel universe is massive, and where and how storylines cross has always been vague to me. That's why I don't call myself that kind of Marvel fan. I'm just like here for the ride. But so I don't mind it as long as it just works, But it's Marvel's whole approach right now, where they've kind of taken the event out of the event movie because of so much content that they've had. People have lost interest, and it's so convoluted now, and the quality has waned significantly. It's kind of like a roller coaster right now. Like each piece of content that comes out, and that's what it is. It's content. It just doesn't feel as impactful as and you've got to. I mean, and I know it's the same shit that people have been saying. They just have been in a weird place since Endgame, kind of thing. And yeah, I do often think like maybe they should have just taken a couple of years break, but they just kept going, like non-stop releasing stuff, and it just hasn't panned out as well as it should have. It's not as organic as it used to feel. And like we're just getting characters left and right, and it just feels like they're just trying to see what sticks.
Well, that's like the problem with that is that I feel like a lot of that stems from the Disney studio itself, where they were being asked like, "Hey, this is like business. Like, you need to be pushing out. We have Disney Plus streaming now. You finished Endgame. Good job. Now I need you to make more and more content." And then just like,
of course,
you stumble when you try to make too much.
But now they're backtracking.
Yeah, exactly. Now they're taking the time to breathe.
Yeah, that emphasis has gone though. Like it's soured feelings towards the franchise, and you had people who were devoted for 20 odd movies, and that is clearly now dwindling. Like Black Panther saw solid numbers at the box office, and even Guardians of the Galaxy is still one of the highest grossing movies of this year. But I surely, like, in the grand scale of things, still, like, a lot of these movies are being considered flops, like Quantumania, Doctor Strange, and so on.
Yeah.
So
Blue Beetle,
and now the Marvels.
They have the new Aquaman trailer that they showed, and I'm like, I'm probably not going to watch this in theaters.
Man, that's a tangent, but yeah, watching that trailer was for sure like, why even bother? He's already being like, I'm gonna play a different DC character. Like, why do I give a shit about Aquaman 2 at this point?
There you go. Yeah, that's it.
I'm gonna kill this conversation and segue to The Killer. The Killer, David Fincher's movie that I saw a few weeks back in theaters because I love movies. I don't know about you guys. It's like you guys don't even care.
And you paid for it too.
I paid for it with my own hard-earned money. I did indeed. The cat. But Luis, you finally got to see it, huh?
I did get to see it,
and I got to watch it today on Netflix. So that was nice. What were your thoughts? We've already heard my thoughts.
Well, let's talk visually. I think visually, this is David Fincher. He always makes beautiful shots that makes me jealous and makes me want to film like him and just like live in that world, that like cool, world that he sets up. And
there's like a connective tissue to all of his films. Is the cinematography.
Yes.
And the pulsing Trent Reznor score.
Yeah. It creates it definitely creates like an ominous tone that he's able to like utilize as like a jumping off point to some of his characters. And then, but I mean, I like this movie. I think this movie is like a short. It feels like a short film done super long. Do you know what I mean? Because not because it's like slow, which is fine because I've seen The American and all the but I think it's just plot wise, it's very simple. Yes. Not in a bad way. I'm just saying that I could have seen it as a short.
It's a trifle. Yeah. It's a trifle on David Fincher's part. And totally. It's like Wes Anderson doing these Roald Dahl shorts.
Yeah.
This is like David Fincher and Wes Anderson could do these projects.
Like, this would be a great 40-minute short. You know what I mean?
But it was just like a little flex.
Yeah.
But it's still a tight movie, I feel like. Like that whole 30-minute build-up to that first hit.
Yeah. I think the pacing, I agree. Like the pacing and the way making it this way, I just think story-wise. But yeah, no, I liked the tense that you had and the narration that he was kind of like giving himself trying.
Yeah. It was always like he was kidding himself at times.
Yes. Yeah.
It's like stick to the plan.
And he always got something fucked up wrong. He every time he fucked up.
There was something.
There was something. And I liked how it differentiated the way from like he was being physically overwhelmed, and then he meets Tilda Swinton, and then he gets like mentally overwhelmed, and then he meets like the person, and it's almost like spiritually overwhelmed. Like he comes into conflict in every situation. Where at the beginning he's like, "I'm the best killer in the world. I have a perfect.
I don't give a fuck."
Yeah. I have a perfect score, and then everything just goes wrong and wrong and wrong.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I like I said, beautiful film. Fassbender's great. Great tense moments. That fight scene was really cool too.
Yeah, and I will say this: I enjoyed it more the second time, and I liked it the first time. But the second time, I was just like more tuned in to how it was going to play out. You know, it wasn't. But yeah, it's just like steady Fincher. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This isn't his latest event movie, if you will, but it's still a lot of fun in a David Fincher way, as in it's like bleak and people die and it's kind of fucked up. But
it's so fun.
You can tell he's having fun with it.
You said you got into a little bit of it, right? How far did you get?
Yeah. Okay. So I basically, when he fucks up the first kill and then he like goes on the run, and then I got sidetracked with something at work. We had a meeting, and then I couldn't ever get back into it today. My goal was to have it finished today, so I could be like, "Oh, I didn't finish the Marvels, but guess what, you guys?" Yeah, just classic Miguel. Didn't follow through on any movie. It was, just to briefly say what probably you guys have already said. It was very beautiful. What I did see. I liked the intro. I kept being like, "Okay, kill him. Okay, kill him." Like, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. And then, you know.
I mean, that's kind of funny about it is he's doing all this talking and vamping, and then he like still fucks up. You know, he's like, "To be the perfect killer, you must do this and this and this," and then it's like, I woke up when it happened. I was like, "Oh, yeah."
Yeah. Because you see those perfect shots kind of just like briefly pop up, and I like the switch from like inside and outside his head, like hearing the music as he's scanning.
I like that.
I did like that. Miguel?
Yeah. You like when they pay attention to like the audio of things? Yeah, you can hear real good.
Yeah. Oh, you know what though? When I was listening, because I saw it in the theaters, and then today I was listening to it with my headphones. Whenever it cut to the music on his headphones, I couldn't hear it because it was only in the
ear that you can't hear.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Ed.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It is what it is. Fortunately, I'd already seen the movie, so I knew what to expect. Like, I heard this like faint humming. I was like, "Oh yeah, there should be music." So there you go. But yeah, well, cool. I'm glad you got a taste of it, Miguel. Do you think you're gonna finish it?
Yeah, I don't know if I told you guys. I watched Zodiac the other day. And I also started watching Mindhunters again. I haven't got too far into that, but my goal is to start watching that. And then I was just like, I think I kind of want to watch David Fincher. I'm in that mood. You know what I mean? So I was interested in seeing this. Yeah. You can name the rest of them, Ed. Go ahead.
I haven't.
You seemed like you were on a roll there. You wanted to talk while I was talking. Okay, go ahead. No.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
But Luis, did Sarah watch it with you?
No, she didn't.
Oh, okay. I was just curious because Sarah wasn't a big fan of it. So I was just curious, getting vibes. All right, well, fuck it.
What a weird
kill
episode
it.
this has been so far. This is great.
I like it.
The killer. Any more thoughts? Any more thoughts?
No, I feel like I have no more thoughts.
Okay.
What we're
Good
into?
thoughts. Good thoughts. What are we into? Miguel.
No, I want to save mine. I want to save mine because it's gonna lead into something a little later.
It's gonna lead into Spider-Man.
You know, go fuck yourself, Ed. You know, you can't have just like a little bit of mystery, a little bit of suspense.
I just want to know when I can leave. Okay, that's all.
I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you when it's Betty buys. Okay, but for right now, okay.
All right, well, who goes first then? Who goes first?
Luis, tell us about.
First. Okay, I'll go first. We're going to talk about Loki season 2.
There you go.
Loki, you.
Loki, me. Yeah. So we all know Marvel's been doing its thing with Secret Invasion and all these other shows that aren't too good. And I talked about Loki last time, right? I think it was a couple weeks ago. And at that point, I only watched up to episode 3, and I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about this show. And it was, the last episode wasn't that great. But I tell you what, after finishing it today and watching the episodes from 4 to 6, I got hooked. I think Tom Hiddleston and Sylvie are great. Owen Wilson's great. I think just great performances overall. I think visually there's some cool stuff that they're doing. It's like, oh wow, we're actually taking some creative choices here. And I will say this, it can be confusing at times, and you're like, wait, what's happening, and why is that important, and where are we going? But that didn't really take away some of like the heartfelt moments that were happening on screen, and some of the stakes and fears that you could just read through their eyes, and just feeling the loss, and just I don't know, this is Marvel in the best way, where it's kind of taking swings. I don't think it's going to be for everybody, but I still had like a better experience with it than I thought as I went deeper and deeper. Again, I didn't like episode 2 and 3, but as we got near the end,
so it hasn't finished yet.
Oh, it's done.
It has.
Oh, it did finish.
Yeah,
it had a good finale.
You know,
did you watch it?
I had it spoiled for me.
God damn.
I think I know people are like, well, what's our new Avengers? Who are we looking up to? Like, is it going to be freaking Paul Rudd and Sam Wilson leading the way for the Avengers and all these things? And I think like Loki is a great character to be the Robert Downey Jr. character of the multiverse saga. You know, he could have a full arc. He's someone who's a mischievous person, and then at the very end, he, kind of save and becomes this selfless character. And he kind of goes through this arc in Loki, but imagine him kind of taking that same journey of like he's the one who opened the timelines. He's the reason why we're dealing with all this multiversal problems. And what a great way to cap it. And then Sylvie's also great. Owen Wilson's great. It'd be just cool to see them as like the spine of the saga if we continue moving on. In some comics, he works with the Avengers. So, it wouldn't be weird to like.
How is the engagement, if there is much of it, with Kang? Without getting spoilery.
Like with how Kang? Much? Yeah.
How much is he a presence? Like, is he as big as they kind of like maybe hyped him up to be for this series? Or
I mean, he's in every. Do you feel after
like
episode 3? After episode 3, he was in like everything. I wouldn't. I would say as the late episodes went on, like 5 and 6, they were more Loki heavy episodes.
Yeah.
But he has like a strong presence. Like he is like one of the main. He's one of the main cast members. Where you have.
Okay. What do you think about it?
I mean, I guess like
because this is a different Kang variant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because there's a bunch of them. That's why he only wanted the sacred timeline.
Well, I'm just curious. Like, was this a good variant?
Oh, I guess so. Yeah, he seemed fine. He stutters a lot, which is a choice.
He's very, very theatrical in this season. That was something I'd complained about.
That was the last one. Yeah.
The feeling that I got when it happened was like, oh, this is a choice that like I need you to make a creative choice, and you're a sophomore in theater, and you're like, I got it. I'm gonna stutter, for the scene, like I've seen it happen in class, and I've seen people go that direction. So that's what it kind of like came off of.
Wow.
I would, but you know what? Like in the end, there were some. I was like, okay, I feel for you. What's his name? Mr. Timely. That's his last name. I'm like, okay, come on, I roll.
Victor.
But they're Victor Timely.
Victor Timely. Timely. Timely.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
I know. Like, but this is so they brought
like a porn parody name.
I know. They introduced it in episode 3, and that was a rough time for me. But no, it got. Let's see, what else do I have in here? It was nice to see him adventure.
Ke Kwan.
He's great. Awesome. Good. So glad he is in the cast. Yeah.
Good. I'm gonna celebrate for him every time he gets a new role. You know what I mean? From here on out. I'm just happy for him and his journey. Shut up, Miguel.
Everybody he's great. I hope he makes a reappearance again. I feel like this was nice and kind of fresh air. I liked this series a lot. A lot of cool shots.
Okay.
Takes time to relish in some of those conflicts and feelings. And yeah. Loki
season 10 out of 10.
I don't know if 10 out of 10, but I would say like like 8.5 out of 10.
Well, that's maybe. Pretty good. That's pretty good. Yeah. All right.
Ed, you got something that's even better than pretty good, though. You got something you were pretty excited about.
I got something. Miguel, have I ever told you I like your vibe, man?
Thanks,
Luis. I like your vibe.
Oh,
and I also like the vibe of Mondo Gecko of Mutant Mayhem.
It's still in the box. I thought it was
good. Don't open it.
I don't want to. It's got so many small pieces. It's not so many. It's got like a frisbee and a skateboard. I feel like his tail comes off. Ed, that would make sense.
This is the conclusion to a conversation we were having a week or two ago.
Yeah.
So you got this
ordered on Whatnot.
Whatnot.
It arrived today.
Hang on, would you say whatnot like that? Do you have to giggle afterwards like you just did? You were so pleased with it.
It's just funny. It rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? Whatnot. But yeah, so Mondo Gecko was, first off, my favorite character of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and possibly the year so far. Voiced, obviously, by Paul Rudd. And I could not find the action figure anywhere. Like, I may have missed the train whenever, like, the movie first came out and, the toys hit stores and all of that. All I ever kept seeing was the Turtles and occasionally Bebop. But that was it. And I really just, it just sung in my heart I wanted Mondo Gecko if I could get it. So I found it on Whatnot, and I was super, super afraid that I was about to get, some shitty one or just not the right one, like the comic book version or something. But no, it came out. And look how cool he is, bro.
I love him.
Find us on YouTube and to take a look. It's a cool little.
Yeah, I like his big old eyes. I like the color. The color blue looks really hilarious. Nice and rich. You know what I mean? He looks like a goof. I like his orange vest. What are those? What are the things that we got in there? What kind of art? Accessories.
It comes with a skateboard.
Okay,
his famous skateboard, of course.
Okay, nice. Yellow skateboard.
Yeah. His
was that a frisbee?
Frisbee. And if you look, let's see. Hang on. Best way to angle this.
This is okay. What is that?
He said, yeah.
The reflection. Okay. You see his tail right there.
Yes.
It's got the rollerblade on his tail too.
Ooh.
Yeah, and he's wearing a backpack. This is a cool little bro, man. This is, and he's got a little description on the back if you don't mind me reading it.
Read it.
Mondo Gecko. Mondo is such a chill dude, Yeah, he rolls with Superfly and his motley crew, but Mondo's not about conflict. He wants good vibes and to feel the love.
That's pretty good.
So true.
That feels like Paul Rudd wrote that. You know what I mean? I could hear him saying all of that.
It's just cool. I'm overjoyed to have it.
That's awesome.
A little treat to myself. I just couldn't resist. And now I feel like, so Lily doesn't feel bad or jealous, I'm just going to get her all of the turtles for Christmas.
Yeah, you don't want her to be jealous of her father. Her
Yeah.
34-year-old father.
And don't get me wrong, I'm fully aware, I'm fully conscious of just like what kind of person it takes to look at a child in their eyes and say, no, you cannot open my toy. I get that, I do. But there's something about it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something about it. And I mean, it's a cool box too. I mean,
it is cool. Like the purple, I like the design.
Characters on the back, yeah.
It's very reminiscent of like a '90s toy box, where you see all the characters in the back.
Yeah, but still getting the cool animation from this movie. So, yeah, very happy about that. That made my day. I was going to talk about my Time magazine edition for Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I finally got around to reading it, it was super underwhelming. I spent $20 on that too. So that was a bummer. But because it just kind of regurgitated everything else that's been circulating on the Killers of the Flower Moon circuit. So it wasn't very unique. It was like 3 pages long tops. And I mean, maybe it's my fault for knowing too much about Martin Scorsese. I don't know, but there you go.
So I said this last week. I'm pretty sure that I started watching the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man with my son.
Yeah,
and we got through most of that movie. Like I said, I skipped some scenes just because he was getting bored. But we got to the end of that movie, you know, Green Goblin dying and everything, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is kind of intense." And he was just like, "Yeah, he's a bad guy." I was like, "Yeah,
yeah, he's a bad guy." Yeah,
and so I was just going to kind of leave it at that. And then we were running around on the Disney Plus app looking for something. And he goes, "Daddy, let's watch the second Spider-Man movie." Ooh, and I was like, whoa, hang on a second. Like, this is like arguably the best Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie. At least that's what like most people think. Let's sit down and we'll watch it. And I tried to ask him, like, as things were happening, like the very first time he puts the arms on for the like experiment showcase.
Oh man, yeah.
He put on the arms, and I said, "Hey, who's that?" And he was like, "I don't know." And I was like, "No, like," I was like, "Look, he's got like extra arms. Who do you think that is?" And he was like, "Oh, that's Doc Octopus." And I was like, "Yes, bro, yes, dude."
Wow.
But we were watching that movie, and I remember not enjoying the second one as much the first time I saw it.
Yeah.
All those years back. But watching it now, I was like, man, this really is some solid like writing, acting.
Yeah.
Like, you know, even though it's not like Spider-Man heavy in a lot of scenes, it's like this is a great movie. I'm really enjoying it. We haven't really got too far into it. I don't think he's become like the official villain yet.
That scene is scary.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how Forrest feels about that when we get around to it. But cool. I like that he's into them because it's like getting a chance to rewatch. I haven't really watched them in a long time. Yeah, and it was one of those things I mentioned last week where it just all the lines came back, and it was just wow, I'm really reliving something, and he's enjoying it too. And so it's become kind of like a fun thing. So when he says he wants to watch,
not coming back, Chief. You know. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, these fucking lines are killing me. I sent you guys that link to some tweet about Spider-Man 3, and I sent it jokingly to Ed, but I was sitting there thinking, like, I'm kind of excited to watch Spider-Man 3 now. Like, and I've never felt that. You know
I will say, I've rewatched all 3 of them, maybe in the last year or so.
Yeah.
We did. Yeah.
The third one is definitely
I know.
Great.
I know.
Yeah.
But the first 2 are great. And I was actually recently thinking about trying it out on Lily. My biggest issue is Lily is kind of like, she's not crazy about live action right now.
Sure.
Live action anything. I did, if I can gush about making our child watch a fun movie of ours, Luis kindly acquired The Adventures of Robin Hood for me, the 1938 Errol Flynn adventure movie, which is a movie I grew up with. And we just recently watched the Disney Robin Hood, so I was like, well, We'll watch Robin Hood. It'll be great because it's old timey. It's not
Yeah.
very violent. It's all swashbuckling adventure.
Terrible
And,
CGI.
Terrible, man. But she was making comparisons like that's the sheriff of Nottingham, so that's the fox or no, the wolf in the movie.
Good. Just paying attention.
Like this guy is the snake in the movie, kind of thing. Like she was making the comparisons, making it work. But all that to say is like I was wondering how Spider-Man would play with her. She's been into Spider-Man recently. Like we rewatched Across the Universe recently, or the Spider-Verse. I'm sorry, not the Beatles musical. And she's been watching the kids show on Disney Plus.
Yeah,
right.
We've definitely watched a good handful of that Spider-Man show. Across the Miles Morales movies, those have been pretty good for him. I will say I don't know how she'll feel, but like I said, we would have to skip some scenes. Sometimes because they were violent, but sometimes just because it was like he's not really understanding what's happening here. Like let's just skip forward to.
Right. I get that.
Did he watch the rooftop scene when Green Goblin has webbed up Spider-Man? And he's like, "You got to turn evil, Spider-Man." And then he's like, "I'm not
like when he's like paralyzed." Yeah. We watch it. Basically, look, anytime he was in costume, we watched those scenes. So even if it was dialogue heavy, but he was Spider-Man. My son was more. He was paying more attention
when he had the costume, right?
Yeah, but I tell you what, when Green Goblin shows up for the first time and he like obliterates those people on the balcony, I was kind of like, I was like looking at my son like, "Yo, are you good over there?" Like, shit, that was kind of. Wow. Poor Macy Gray was terrified. Yeah, no, he did good. So far, he hasn't really said anything was super scary. And I thought, man, just what a character Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is. He's so good. So I'm very excited to kind of keep watching Spider-Man 2 and just kind of finish this trilogy. It's a lot of fun.
You should watch Spider-Man No Way Home after Spider-Man 3.
Oh, so I was definitely thinking about that. One, I haven't seen that movie basically since theaters. Like, it has been a minute, so I'm kind of interested in doing that anyway.
Because Willem Dafoe's performance in that's really good too. Like,
I know. And he really liked that first one, so I'm kind of like, okay, let's see how these go. And I may skip the Andrew Garfield ones.
I think just go to 4. Just go to Spider-Man 3. No way.
Go Spider-Man 3 2. So I'll let you know how that goes, but we're having a journey right now. My son went as Spider-Man for Halloween. He's just kind of like, that's the vibe he's in right now.
That's awesome. Well, good. I'm glad he's been enjoying those movies. That's fun. I'm looking forward to doing more of that with Lily, obviously. But I'm a purist. I won't skip scenes. I'm just like, we're watching this, or we're not watching anything.
Okay.
I was like, we're going to have quiet time, and you can either watch Robin Hood with me, or you can go sit in your bed and read or whatever. And she opted for Robin Hood.
But what do you do if you sit down and she says, "I'll watch the movie," and then she starts like getting up and fidgety and jumping up and down or anything like that? Does she do any of that?
Yeah, sometimes.
Does she know? Does she know? You bring the hand down. You say, "No, you sit down."
She's always she's very like if anything, she's just more like, I don't want to watch this. She just makes it clear she doesn't want to watch it. Like, maybe she'll get excited and jump around a little bit in certain movies, but overall, Lily is quite an intense viewer. She doesn't like to be distracted. She's figured out the pause button so she can walk away and do whatever she needs to do and come back and resume.
She is your daughter.
She doesn't like to miss anything. I love her. And it does. But like, we're very clear about like what we do and don't want to watch, I guess, in the moment. But
that's cool.
Yeah, I do want to try out some superhero stuff. That'd be cool. More of it, anyway. And have a Spider-Man ranking.
Oh, there you go. We'll do it. I watched
the Amazing Spider-Mans.
Do you like them?
No, I haven't watched them yet. I will. I would.
Spoiler alert.
The first
But,
2 minutes of Spider-Man 2 is really good.
Yeah, well, and that one scene towards the end is also pretty good. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, the fact that I felt like I was able to capture the whole of Andrew Garfield's arc in No Way Home, outside of those two movies,
That's what I'm saying. Miguel doesn't need to watch those after Spider-Man 3.
Yeah,
Just
I
like
know
jump
what
up.
happened.
skip them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you lose your Uncle Ben? I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Did you
I'm
lose your?
sorry.
Did he die?
And then Gwen Stacy too, huh? That one.
Yeah. But Gwen Stacy's in the Tobey Maguire one too. But my son only knows Gwen Stacy as like the Spider Gwen. You know what I mean?
Oh,
so
yes.
in these two different iterations of Gwen Stacy, she's not a superhero. And I'm sure he's gonna be like, the fuck. I'll be like,
Yeah,
don't
because
say that.
across the Spider-Verse, it's also
Bryce
Gwen.
Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
But in those little kid cartoons, don't they call her Ghost?
Yeah, so in the kid cartoon, Ghost Spider, and then they call Miles Morales, oh man, what is it? It's like Skid or something like that. No, that's not right. No, that's not right. It's oh shit, it's something like that though. They give him like some like nickname, and I remember thinking, oh, I get why they're doing it. You know, they can't just call them Miles Morales and Gwen Stacy,
right?
But it's just like that's not
Spin.
his name.
They call him Spin.
That's right.
Spin.
Yeah. No, I only know that because I've listened to that album so many times. My son went on a stretch where we only listened to that in the car, and that album is done by the lead singer of Fall Out Boy.
No.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So my son's first introduction to Fall Out Boy was the Spider-Man album.
Oh my god!
And I started. It's hilarious because I'm like, I love Fall Out Boy.
I was wondering if that was him.
That's
hilarious.
Yeah,
Lily was watching some of that.
He sings the title song, but they have like a whole soundtrack of, I guess, songs that appear in the show. And
what's your favorite song in that soundtrack?
Oh man, well I'll tell you what. I think I even sent it to you. There's the one where he's like, I'm trying to get the tune in my head. Hang on, it's been a minute since we've listened to them. But where he's just like, he's basically like, oh, my neighborhood is so fun. Like from the birds to the people in the street to this and that. It's such like a fun way. And like we were listening to it on the way to daycare in the morning, so it was like a fun way to start the day. It was like, oh yeah, like he's like loving his friends, like even the bad guys too. Like everyone's got a good heart. Like it's like, oh, this is fun. My neighborhood. Oh, it's pretty good. I'm blanking on the tune. We'll link it down below. We'll play it right now. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Okay, that was good. All right.
That's good, right? Yeah, no. Oh, man.
I didn't pick up until too late. I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. That's Ed. That's typical Ed. Just no improvisation whatsoever. He's scared of it.
My motto is no but.
No. Yours is, huh? No, it's not.
Nuh-uh. I would never.
Never. But I tell you what, Ed, you said you were sleepy and you wanted to go to bed early tonight. And there's something that me and Luis, actually, hang on a second. I need to publicly say something, okay? With all of us here, okay? And this is for Luis, okay? And I texted Ed separately about this. Luis, I need you to understand that for like 24 hours, I was beating myself up over this, okay? But me and Luis were texting on the side about Spider-Man the game, and I was telling him, I'm playing this level, you gotta play it. And he was like, I'm playing it right now. And he sent me a clip, and I was like, oh shit, he's like seconds behind where I am. And then he gets to the end, and he shows me a screen that's like, oh, I've completed it. And I was like, no, that's not... Because the end of this level is like, I was like blown away by it. And I was like, he didn't give me the reaction I wanted. And so I asked him, I said, well, did you see? And then I spoiled this big ending of this level, and he hadn't gotten there yet. And man, when I tell you, Luis was like, are you serious? And I was like, oh, fuck.
Oh, no. I saw your response. It was, okay, no more Spider-Man talk, lol.
Oh, he shut it down. And he said LOL. But you know when you say LOL, you don't really mean it, you know?
I ever use LOL, you guys know that I'm dying.
Oh, and I felt so bad because it was like it was somewhat of a big spoiler. Yeah. Like it's definitely like DLC territory. Possibly.
Yeah.
Can I hear it now? Is it safe?
Yeah, I didn't actually tell Ed what the spoiler was because I was that.
Okay, so now complete spoiler alert for Spider-Man 2. If you haven't played it, don't listen.
Yeah, look for our timestamps. Look for our timestamps.
Just turn the episode off at this point.
Yeah, walk away like I'm about to.
And Luis, you finished the game 100%. I saw you platinum. I
platinumed it. My first platinum.
That's awesome, and it seems like a game that's very obtainable to do. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Ed, do you know what it means to platinum a game?
It sounds like you came really hard, man.
That's right. At the very end of the game, the PlayStation 5 sucks.
So good. Well done, you. Like, you just ran a marathon and you fucking
did it. No, that just means he's completed the game 100% and side missions and everything. Like he's done everything in the game.
Congratulations.
So now I can, clarify this spoiler. So at the end there's this whole fucking side story where there's like this cult in New York City and they're burning. They're like branding their marks on civilians and like making them a part of their cult. And the whole theme is this cult. And so you team up with a character from the last game who becomes like her own like vigilante. And Spider-Man and her fight, and all the while she's like mentioning this like the leader. She's got some attachment to the leader, and at the very last level, you meet the leader, and at the very last, but you don't. But when you first meet him, the spoiler doesn't happen yet. It isn't until like the very end of that little.
This is what happened was that I was doing a lot of side quests. Like that was like my jam. I've never done that with anything. Yeah. I was like, I'm just gonna knock a shit ton of these. So that when I'm done, I just do pure storyline, raw, nothing in my way. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you eat a sandwich. Yeah, you do all the bad bits first, and then I can just enjoy the whole fucking thing. So I thought I did all these levels, you know what I mean? And then I looked, and it says you've done 3 out of 4. But on my side map, it said I had no more levels I could do. I was like, that's it.
It hadn't cropped up on the map yet.
I haven't. Okay. I didn't advance far enough into the story for me to hit that 4th level. Is what happened.
Oh,
so
man.
I went literally as far as I could, and then after some story beats, it finally popped up and like, hey, I have some information. And I'm like, it's the fire level, and then I joined it like 3 hours later. But yeah, so that's what happened. And so Miguel, then
I spoiled it when I was like, I don't understand how you could have missed this. At the very end of the level, the main bad guy, the leader of the cult, he's this redhead criminal, and he pulls out this vial and he goes, thank God Oscorp lended this to me, and it's the symbiote, and he's Carnage.
There's gonna be carnage, and then he just shows the vial.
And as she runs through like a bunch of aliases that he had because he gets away. And she's like, well, I'm gonna check all of his aliases, and like one of them is like the Cletus or whatever. Like it's like, oh, he's Carnage 100%. Yeah. And I said that to Luis, and it's something that's so dumb right now. Like people listening right now are probably like, who gives a shit? You know what I mean? But it was just one of those things where I was so excited about it, and I thought Luis was right there with me.
Yeah, but Luis
completely spoiled it.
Luis was in the moment, of course. Of playing it, so
Luis, what I wanted to say was, Luis, I felt terrible about that, and I'm very sorry. Okay, and I hope that didn't ruin the overall experience.
He was concerned, Luis. He was like, I think I just spoiled something major for Luis.
Honestly, in the grand scheme of things, it's nothing at all, and it was very reactionary. I think it's because throughout this whole time, I've worked really hard to hide from like I've muted the company that I work at because they just post Spider-Man 2 comments all the time.
Well, that's what I mean.
So I was like, I've gotten this far. Yeah,
it came from within the house. You know what I mean? I was like, God damn it, Miguel.
It's okay.
I was really
it's okay. There were so many more bigger parts of that game that was like a small tidbit that
I tell you what.
Was he cool?
Well, it ends on a cliffhanger. Basically, he gets away, and so
this could be something that they do in the DLC, like coming up, like setting that up.
I would be surprised if they stretch it out to the 3rd game. I imagine it'll be some sort of DLC content. Or like a Miles Morales type situation where they release like a secondary game. Maybe. We'll see. But I will say this. What made me feel a lot better, Luis, is the very next day I was on the car driving, and you sent me like a paragraph text about like all of your thoughts. You were getting back into the story about your predictions about where it was going to go, and I was sitting there going like, okay, I'm still in it. Yes, okay. He hasn't like blocked my number.
I was like, okay, no, we're going to keep talking about Spider-Man. Yeah, I just needed a second, and then I was like, let's get back into this again. You know?
Yeah, no, okay, good. Yeah. And you had a lot of really great predictions, which I do want to talk about. And so, Ed, this is your cue. If you don't want to hear anymore,
I leave you. With all due respect, as much as I love to hear you guys talk about video games that I might not ever be able to play, I want you guys to just like unleash it all and talk about it freely without me just going like, But I'm excited for you, Luis. You seem like you enjoyed it overall. So, you guys enjoyed chatting. I love you both. And see you next week, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Love you, baby.
It's been you, Ed Ball.
It's been me, Ed Ball. Bye-bye. Bye.
Yeah. Spider-Man 2. Yeah.
Okay.
Let me get my notes here because I have a lot. I don't think I can get through all these things, these thoughts. I have
that's okay. We don't have to talk about all of them. We'll just touch on some things, okay? Some of the big things that the audience is probably checking out too. This is for you and me. Yeah. Okay. Whew, baby,
you and me are going to just have a genuine conversation about this.
I am so excited that you finally finished the game. I replaying it right now, and I kind of talked about this a couple times recently. I just am kind of falling in love with it again, and it's making me want to replay. I don't know if we really talked about this last week. It's making me want to replay the story so bad, but I refuse to do that until I get a new game plus.
Yeah,
okay?
I think that's the move.
So I'll start talking about that just real quick. What an odd thing! I think the director said it just missed the window. Okay, it just didn't. They didn't. And I get that they want that game to get pushed out, and they don't want that one thing to hold them up. But we're missing the new game plus function right now, and that is one thing that I love about these story video games. I love finishing a game and immediately starting a new save file with all of my upgrades and everything like that. But I will say what I do like about Spider-Man 2 is. And shout out to Girlfriend Reviews, okay? She said this on her review, and it made me think about it, and it was spot on, absolutely correct. Was that you can upgrade this character, both of your characters, fully on one playthrough, and that doesn't always happen.
That's me. I did that.
You have thoughts about that? Okay, good. Same.
Yeah.
Well, I almost never get that done anymore. And I was surprised to find that in this, in Spider-Man 2 and Sonic Spider-Man 2, you can get all of those upgrades before you ever finish the game.
Dude, I did all the side quests. And I was like, holy shit, I'm like almost filled on everything. And literally
maxed.
And there are points where I was like, actually, I'm pretty good. I don't need any more abilities. Like I don't really ever going to use those other ones. And then I had so many hero tokens extra points from advancing. I was like, fuck it. Just buying everything that I see because I was rich with points. And at some point I became indestructible and I just went into battles. I was like, pew, 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 boom, boom, like gadget, web, triangle and whatever. Like I had a nice combo going where like, okay, I would web, then my focus would build, then I would do the super attack, and then I would have a bunch of gadget. Like there was a whole momentum that I was able to get into with all these abilities. Everything was in sync and it felt really nice to like play with that, you know.
I agree 100%. I got better in the combat because of all that as I played more side missions, and that's what I said last week. Is I wish I would have done more side missions first. But I will say this: when New Game Plus does come out, like I'm gonna be ready to go. You know what I mean? Like, and I love because normally what happens is in a New Game Plus, all of the web not webs.
The abilities?
Branches that I didn't fill in the skills, you know what I mean? I'll finish those out in the New Game Plus. But now in this one, I'll be able to start 100%.
Just knocking people out with one web hit.
Dude, I've been doing that triangle shit since I started playing. Ever since you said that, I've been like, dude, I'm triangle.
No, triangle every single time, dude.
Bro, every fucking combat, I hit triangle and I knock the guy out, and it's like a stealth knockout. And you can do it again immediately. Yes. That didn't happen in the first game. So that's kind of a cool addition to this one. It feels like I can just, as long as I don't get seen, I can just boom, 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 boom. And on the hunter,
especially if you're Miles, if you're Miles, you can go invisible, and then after a while, they're like, huh? And then they forget you're there, and then you say, I'm going to do it again.
Doing that.
Yeah, if I get overwhelmed, I'm like, I'm invisible now, and no one sees me, and then like, where is he? And then I just get some like higher ground.
Oh man, I can't believe how I'm not utilizing that function. I'll tell you what else I'm not utilizing is the robot arms. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, let's talk about this for a second, because I got super into the Venom stuff, and then when there's like, well, you don't have Venom anymore, I'm like, what? I just spent all these tokens, and then now I have like, now I have to learn the arms, which I didn't like, and then I got into the arms, I was fine, and then when I got the Venom stuff again, I was like, oh, thank God. And then I filled out those,
I got lucky because I was just like really hammering that story that I lost the Venom and almost immediately got it back. And I remember telling myself, like, there's no way they would introduce that functionality and then just take it away for the rest of the game. And especially as the story ends and you swing through the city doing side missions, you're not going to lose that. And so I thought the way that they introduced those powers again was like pretty good. You know what I mean?
I liked it. Yeah.
Like, okay, there's a reason for it, and there's a reason why it changes colors, and he's not angry anymore. My son, he was watching me play. He was playing with me a lot during the story, and he was like, when he's Venom, he's mean. And I was like, that's right. And then when he became like the white Venom, he was like, oh, he's not mean anymore. And I was like, no, it's like it's nice now. But no,
okay, I'm exploding with thoughts. Go ahead,
dude. Between Venom and the spider arms, I'm Venom all day, every day.
1,000%.
I'm sorry. I do not give a shit about those arms. Those were some of the last things I upgraded. I just did them tonight.
Yes.
And it's like, I'm never going to use them, but I have them just in case.
I mean, listen, and there is a spoiler alert, but like a trade-off between regimes of like, now Miles is going to be the new Spider-Man while Peter kind of rests. And like Miles has great powers and abilities that I utilize. I felt like they gave Peter Parker those arms to be on level with Miles. With Miles.
Yes.
And I also love how they're just like, you know what, Peter's story is done. And you know what? I'm like, why don't we do that with comics instead of like elongating things? Just be like, listen, the Peter Parker era is done. We can move to the Miles Morales era. And when that's done, we go to a new era. Like instead of like keeping these characters living for so long. I love that trade-off, and I love that type of storytelling. But I would always use the Venom stuff with Peter Parker. Like that's just.
You had mentioned that you were doing Miles heavy, and then for the story, like you had to play Peter Parker more.
Yeah.
And I found myself being like Peter, and then sometimes Miles. Now that I finished a story and I'm basically only doing side missions, I'm exclusively playing as Miles Morales. I don't ever think to switch to Peter Parker. I'm really coming to like his character and his abilities. No, I'm having a good time. Oh man, God, this is not going to be a cohesive conversation whatsoever.
It's okay.
We're going to bounce
this is
around
for you and me. We understand.
There was something that I have been dying to get your opinion on, because I was so happy that when I jumped to the internet, I was not alone in this thought.
Okay.
In the big last level, the symbiotes, right? They're all around the city, okay?
Okay. Tell me this.
Okay. The Spider-Man, Peter Parker and Miles Morales, they link up for the final battle. They hit that roof. And Miles Morales and Spider-Man Peter Parker goes, what are you wearing? And he's like, oh, I just had to get this Miles Morales original. What did you think about that suit, dude?
I hated that suit.
What a piece of trash suit.
That was my God. Bad suit.
And I was like, don't do my boy like this. Come on.
I'm going to tell you this too. I immediately switched him to another suit after that happened. I was like, I'm not wearing that. And then I made him wear like this cool, like Venomized, like suit thing where he looks like really cool, and then he goes and meets Haley, and Haley's like, ooh, I like your new suit. And I'm like, I'm not wearing that new suit now.
That trash piece of shit suit.
But then at the very last mission, they forced me to wear that suit. It forced it out of me, and I gave Peter Parker another suit as well, like one that I liked better. And then it put me back into the white Venom suit, and I was like, well, what the fuck? I felt like in the other one that didn't happen except for the Doc Ock portion.
It was odd that it was rare that happened. Yeah, those suits would be in the cutscenes and everything. You're right.
Yeah.
They did kind of like
when Aunt May died, you wore the costume that you were wearing throughout the whole time. It didn't put you back into the standard Spider-Man. Skin, you know. Yeah. And so I thought it would be doing the same thing here, and so I just couldn't believe that they forced that.
Oh man, and you know what it is? It's an Adidas. I'm pretty sure Adidas collaboration. They made that they designed that suit for the game, and so it's just an ad on top of it, and you're like, oh my god, it's terrible. It's like, no, where did this blue color come from?
I don't know.
I don't know how I feel about his hair being exposed. Part of me likes it because it, like, I don't know, it makes him look different. Yeah. But another part of me is just like, dude, put the mask on. Like, it's kind of like when Falcon is Captain America, when Falcon has that thing and it's like the top of his head, is like, bro, I just feel like you're gonna get shot right there. Like, wear something
to cover you up, protect you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was rough. And then at the end, there's like another side mission where you get another suit, and this person's like, "Here you go," and then like, "This is a terrible suit. I'm never gonna wear this."
Oh man.
Some are good, some are bad, but yeah, that was rough. I have to ask your thoughts. Not continuing on with the story here. We're going into the third act, which I thoroughly enjoyed. There are a lot of portions I enjoyed. We can talk about that later. But what did you feel when we finally got everyone's doing their thing, and then we land on MJ, who now has an upgraded stun gun weapon?
Oh baby.
What were your thoughts? Because my thought.
Okay.
I had thoughts too.
Tell me.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
And then I started going in, and I just felt like I haven't played a lot of games, but I had like Last of Us just like kind of like bubble in me because I see like these zombified symbiotes walking around.
Yeah.
And I'm like, a part of me just clicked in, and I was like, oh, this is a different gameplay now. And I liked the difference of like, I've been swinging and fighting, and now I'm a shooter. And I'm like, I like how we introduced shooter mode into this world, and that we could do it and carry it into the third one. It makes me excited for the possibilities of that.
It made her levels much more interesting. You know what I mean? It didn't make me hate that I wasn't playing Spider-Man like it did in the first game. That was, and you know, it is what it is. The internet talked about it, but it is just true. Those levels, they're not fun to play in the first game. And in this one, and in this one, okay, it was like I'm kind of on the edge of my seat. Like, am I gonna, you know what I mean? I'm like trying to do it real quick, like papa, and I grab him. You know what I mean? Like she's all of a sudden got this like skill,
the spider web. Yeah.
She's like, oh well, when I'm not writing for the Daily Bugle, I'm also.
Well, there's that big boss battle fight that she has with the huge thing. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh shit, like that. That was a good moment to put into the gameplay.
I totally forgot about that.
Because she has her own boss level. And I was like, and I had this genuine feeling of like, whoa, how am I going to take this guy down? And I saw the little like sound barrier corners. I was like, okay, I got to hide. And I was just like, it opened up a whole new way to play. And I dug that. I liked how they were able to integrate all three of these characters. I loved the Venom, when Peter's Venom and Miles, they're fighting against each other after Craven.
Oh, that was a fun level. Yeah.
That's a fun, like those levels where they tightly incorporate those characters together, where you're kind of switching back and forth quickly. That's super fun. And I had a great time story wise and gameplay wise. So I love that third act. I like that middle portion. I think the beginning just was a little bit, I talked about that here. I had a rougher time with the beginning, but as it went, I was here for it.
So let's talk Craven for a second, okay? Because I had some thoughts when I was talking to Ed the first week about Craven. And my thoughts have not changed too much, simply because I haven't had a chance to go back and play the story again.
Yeah.
But overall, I felt like Craven was really underutilized, and I wanted more of his story. Like, I would have liked a little bit more of a presence from him besides just like the henchmen in the city. Like a little more like one-on-one. One of the things they cut is that he goes around and kind of kills a lot of the Sinister Six off screen.
Yeah.
And it's like, I get why you can't necessarily be in those moments, because it's like, why would Spider-Man be there for that? But it is like, I do want to see him in action a little bit more. Like, he never felt like a threat, really, because He was always just someone that would show up and I would have to kind of beat up a little bit and then he'd disappear again.
You know what it would have been? Because what they did was, I'm going to play off this idea that you're saying is there was a moment when I played as Venom himself, and I was like, oh, I'm the bad guy now playing, and so it would have been fun to be Craven, to play as Craven fighting the Sinister
Going
Six.
after those Sinister Six, baby. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And that would give me something that I was needing from him. I needed to feel like he has a really cool intro where he kills that hunter who's been hunting him. You know what I mean? But it would be nice to like see a little bit more of his skill set in play. And so I just felt like he showed up at the right moments and then was just kind of gone. And
Did they do that in Spider-Man 1 where there was this kind of villain that popped up in the beginning and then went away to serve the other villain? Like, I felt like this pattern happened in the first one.
They would have bounced back and forth between Mr. Negative and Doc Ock.
Because Mr. Negative was the original baddie, and then he got taken away to jail.
Octavius kind of becomes the bad guy. Yeah, that's the reveal. Even it's like, okay, obviously, in the first game.
Is that the same pattern as this one? Where Craven
it is a little similar.
Yeah.
He takes a back seat. You know what I mean? Something else happens. But I will say this. You had a pretty good prediction. It was the same one I had. Okay. You had a prediction that Craven was going to become Venom.
Yes.
And it makes absolute sense because when you see Harry, when you see Peter Parker as Venom, both of them, they're kind of body type. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
And Craven's got a very specific build to him.
Yeah.
And Venom in all those trailers, he's got a very similar build. It's just like the 19 inches of Venom.
Yeah.
And so I was on the same page and it took so much into me. I had to be like, I'm just not going to respond when you told me
that. Was good. I just need you to hear that
because it seems like a very obvious thing that's going to happen. They made the choice to have a different character be Venom than the typical like comic book version of him. So it stands to reason that Craven could have been Venom.
Especially because he was already quote unquote dying, like he was sick too, just like Harry was.
They already set that up, right?
Yeah, and so it's like, oh, he could then become the perfect hunter with Venom. But I'm happy that they actually didn't go that route and they went with the whole Harry route.
It's like in Captain America: Civil War when you think they're going to fight all of the super soldiers at the end, and then when they get there, they're dead, and then it's like, no, that's not the battle. You know what I mean?
This is the battle.
It subverts that expectation.
I love that. Yeah, I mean, I made fun of the beginning. We're like, oh my god, it's so cheesy how they're trying to make Harry and Peter so like close, but they're doing that to set up the ending when you're literally killing him with trigger. Like when it tells you to push square and like kill Harry, I'm like, oh my god, like that. Dude. That was a moment, and then you get to act as Miles, resurrecting him, somebody who was jealous about you and Pete's relationship. Like that whole like love triangle, love square situation, love pentac thing that's happening between all of those characters. They all feel like, well, you're not paying attention to me. Well, I'm not paying attention to you. Like they all kind of experience that with Venom. Like even MJ when she became Scream. Like, I was like,
were you expecting that to happen?
No, I didn't expect that to happen either. And that was a moment as well. Like they had all these like really great moments that weren't obviously comic, like true to the comics, but you don't care because it earns it and it works. And that was a good fight too.
What I kept thinking was this is like Insomniac's interpretation of these stories. And I think that's one of the things that benefits comic book stories. That's what they're all about. And I've kind of gone on my soapbox about this before, but it's just like when you have this expectation that it happens this way, 1, 2, 3, ABC, you know what I mean? And a couple of comics and stories so far. So it has to be done that way in this one.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't, and then people get upset. And it's just like, well, where's the fun if that every time I see this story, it's the exact same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Take some risks to do something different. Spider-Man, we were talking last week about how the multiverse has really just become Spider-Man's thing recently.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, then, you know, every time I play as Spider-Man, it needs to feel something new. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But no, I super enjoyed. I'm enjoying Insomniac's take on the Spider-Man story. It's been a lot of fun.
And
a lot of people were kind of upset about this whole Peter Parker retiring thing and Miles Morales taking over. I understand.
He's clearly not going to go away forever. Like, he's going to be like, if you need me, I'm here. So he'll be back to do something. Yeah, which is cool. But like, I'm fine with Miles taking over, and I think that story-wise, we should retire Peter a little bit. He's been around for years. Like,
at this point, there was like a decade of him being Spider-Man before the first game, basically. Yeah. And it's like, it makes sense on a story level that he's not going to want to do this forever, and he's got other aspirations, and there's a whole nother Spider-Man who's like literally there to take the mantle. And they do a really good job in this game of they call each other Spider-Man, but everyone in the city calls him Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2. And they were setting it up all along that he's going to take over. And it may feel a little sudden, but
life's sudden that sometimes, you know?
Yeah, it happens. And it's like, Spider-Man, Peter Parker. If this is not the first time you've ever heard of these characters, you get it. He's done it. Now let's see someone else new. Miles is in the zeitgeist of things. Like, he is taking over the Spider-Man role in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think I mentioned before, my son knows Miles Morales as Spider-Man. Now, he knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man too, but that's like his Spider-Man is Miles Morales.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen, and the nerds, we got to calm down. Okay. It's just going to be all right.
And talking about this too, I made a prediction, like, because for Spider-Man 3, have 3 of the Spider-Man characters, and one of them being a good one, and one of them being Gwen Stacy. Because after watching Across the Spider-Verse, I'm like, ooh, I want to play as Gwen. But of course, Spider-Man 2 ends a different way when they meet another character.
Oh, I didn't want to tell you last week. That's right. I was like, you need to get to the end of the game because
So we get introduced to a new character. What's it called? Miles's mom is going on a date with Albert, whose daughter is Cindy Moon. Cindy Moon plays the character Silk in the Spider-Man universe. So she's also like a girl Spider-Man person. But I was like, oh, that is also a good angle as well, instead of going just Gwen, which everybody knows, which of course we like her, but it's a good opportunity to explore something new.
To do something different in the Insomniac universe of Spider-Man.
Exactly.
But you had a really good prediction. I didn't really talk about it much last week. I was re-listening to the episode recently, and I was like, oh, I wanted to talk about that more. But you're absolutely right. You made a point about, like, how can you make New York different? You get the multiverses of New York, where you like swing from one version to another kind of deal. Yeah. And the more I thought about that, the more I was like, absolutely, what a great mechanic. Think about like a game that on PlayStation that people really liked was Ratchet and Clank. Rift in Time, you know what I mean? And how he transitioned from kind of universe to universe. And that's like a cartoony way of thinking about it. But in a Spider-Man multiverse story, like, that is something absolutely obtainable on the PS5. Yeah. To go from one version to the other. In the way that you could flip from Spider-Man's, and also the fast travel system in this game was very fluid. I could absolutely see a New York changing on a dime like that in a third sequel.
And I love the fast travel on this. Like, there was a point where I didn't realize that was the fast travel ability, because last game you had to go through the metro station to like get anywhere.
Yeah, it was like an animation. Here it was a load screen.
Yeah, here I'm just like, I click a button, I load, and then I'm there, and it's just
seamless.
There were some missions where I had to like fly from one place to another, or I wanted to go to a high building. I was like, okay, I'll fast travel here. Or there's crime somewhere else, or there's a mission on the other side of the bridge. I'm like, oh, I'll just fast travel right to that location, and it was super easy. Did you do the Talon Bird challenges? Like those little bird chase challenges?
I think I'm almost done with those. Okay. That's like a part of the hunter challenges as well. Yeah. I dig those. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
You dig those. You like them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm playing on like like the standard whatever thing. You know, that's fine. Here, the flying and following the bird, I am terrible.
No.
Terrible. I mean, I'm telling you, I tried to do that the first one, like so many times. I was getting upset. I'm like, this isn't fun. This is going to stop me from getting the platinum. I'm going to be so pissed. because I could not catch him in time. I could not stay in the freaking like draft.
Man. Yeah.
So what I ended up doing was putting the speed. I made the speed 30%.
Oh, good for you.
So he's like running in slow motion and everything is a lot slower.
Okay.
But even then, I was having a tough time. Just I can do combat. I can go boom, 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 boom everywhere, no problem.
Yeah.
But the flying, I couldn't do the flying.
Dude, I get that. I get that, dude. It's like it's a mechanic that if you're just off by a little bit, it's like you bounce like a DVD menu. You're off every corner and you've missed.
It took some hard turns and I could not adjust.
And then they start introducing the other one that shoots at you while they're already dropping bombs, and then they start shooting, and you got to remember that you got to roll. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to do this like aerial maneuver.
I was going so slow, those bombs, I didn't even get to the bombs in time. He was like shooting bombs off. I was like, don't worry, I'm never going to hit him. I'm way behind.
It's not even. That's good to know.
Yeah. No, but that one, and that got me thinking that if you put it on story mode and you lower the speed, I don't know, you could go 30%, but you lower the speed to like 70% or maybe whatever. Forrest could play Spider-Man this game. Especially 30%, this is what's happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know.
I'm not trying to make you feel bad, but my son plays at like 100%. Like
Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, he plays the game?
Yeah, he can he does it, and he does it just fine.
Okay. I didn't know. I don't know how kids play video games.
It's insane how good he is at it. He picked it up. Just talk about this for a moment. Like a couple of battles, basically what he was just doing was hitting square, right? Like I'm just punching. You know what I mean? Pop, 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 pop. And then, so that would be like for the red triangle, like just regular city crimes. But then, like once Venom got introduced and like the symbiote took over the city, the hunters would. So a lot of the symbiote and hunter fights would happen at the same time. Yeah. So he would get a little overwhelmed, and I started telling him, okay, like, hey, you first off notice when they show you the buttons, the triangle, circle. I was like, when you see those buttons, press them both at the same time. So then he got used to that, and then I had to start telling him, okay. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to explain it to him, but let's see. I was like, look, boy, there's L1 and there's R1. and he was clicking the triggers in the back. And I said, no, not the triggers, the front ones, the top ones. And he said, okay. And I said, click this one, that's L1. Click this one, that's R1. When I tell you to click them, you click them. He said, okay. So during a battle, I'd be like L1 square. And he'd be like L1 square, and it would do it. And and I got him to do L1 or R1 triangle, and it would do it. So then after a while, he just kind of picked it up, and man, he's pretty good at the battles, man. Like,
that's pretty good.
And swinging through the city, flying through the city. One of his favorite traversal things is those big slingshots.
I never used those. Funny enough.
Well, you were telling me how you didn't know that you could fast travel the way the fast travel system is set up. I didn't realize that you could do the slingshot thing on things that aren't that, like they have like a part of the level that's a slingshot that's set up just for that. Yeah. You can slingshot off of things and not even be in that little stage. As long as you're in basically the right setup, you can do the slingshot buttons, and both of them will just do it, slingshot back, and zip off.
Oh,
it's like,
that would have been fun.
Man, I can't believe that I didn't know you could do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he was teaching me things. I saw him do that. I said, "What the fuck? Give me that controller." But no, it's a great time. I really enjoyed the Venom gameplay. I do think what I told Ed based on the end of my first playthrough of the story, I just felt like I didn't ever give each character enough attention besides Peter Parker, really. But that I would play a game with Peter Parker, with Miles Morales, and Venom, just solo playing. You know what I mean?
Right.
I wish that there was a little more Venom gameplay where he gets those wings, and I'm trying to remember now if you fly with him. I don't think you actually
when his wings come out like a dragon.
Yeah,
that was
imagine traversing the city like that. You know what I mean?
That would be wild.
What I had in my head that he was going to swing like in the Lego Avengers games, like Venom swings like with webs like Spider-Man. Yeah. So I was kind of thinking something like that would happen with Venom in this game. But they don't really give you the opportunity to travel the city beyond that like one glitch. So I would have liked a little bit more Venom gameplay in that aspect, but I enjoyed playing as him in general. He was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Man, I am not done with all of the. I haven't got the platinum trophy yet. I'm still working through side missions. Basically, my goal is I want to complete the game so that when I get that new game plus, I'm ready to hit the ground running in the story and I can do it all. I'm gonna fuck them up so hard.
I tell you what.
Yeah,
I want to talk gadgets because I have my favorite gadget because we talked about.
Let's go.
One gadget that I was like, I don't know how I'm going to use that, and I use it all the time. Was the what was it? R square. And what that did was it brought it shot a thing and it brought all the villains into the middle.
So that's like the web grabber. Okay?
It grabbed all of them, and it also grabbed surrounding items as well. So if there were rocks or cars or guns, it would also
bombs.
It would bring it in, and they would explode or they would be impacted by that hit. And anytime I needed some relief, I just but using that with comboing that with Miles because it would bring them together. And then I would lift them up with Miles so that I would do like a double attack. Because like only with Peter Parker's Venom attack where he does like the whole like, prickly pear,
burst out or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. But Miles, I was able to do that twice because I could lift them up or I could beat them down just using that web grab roll. That I loved that gadget. By far my favorite one.
I tell you what, one of the gadgets that I was missing from the first game was the like the web. I'm blanking on the name of it now, but it was like this like web like kind of super punch thing where you could web the enemy from afar and it would shoot that like cannon web at them and they would immediately stick. So if they were by a wall and you're far away, you could web them and boom, on one shot they would be stuck to the wall. And I missed that. But what they did in this game is they gave you, obviously you can web them up like normal, but then they gave you that like concussion burst, which I think was in the first game too, but I utilized it a lot more in this game. Yeah. So as far as gadgets, that was the one I ended up using a lot, especially during the Venom levels where it was like symbiotes are everywhere.
Yeah.
Because they would react to that in a different way. And one that I thought I was never going to use, and it took me forever to finally unlock it just because I was like, I'm going to spend my points on other things. Was the ricochet, the web ricochet. And once I finally started using that, I was like, okay, it's like helpful. It can do things while I'm doing something else. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what, that thing gets really powerful the more you unlock it. When it's fully unlocked, I was like, "Oh, that thing is taking care of business. Thank you." And then I'm over here doing other stuff. I'm like, dude, bye bye.
That's what I mean. Not only are you upgrading your skills, but I've upgraded all of my gadgets. I've upgraded almost all of my like. They have that other menu that's like health, traversal, damage. I've upgraded most of that, and it's just like surprising how much I've like powered these characters up. And I'm not even done with my first playthrough yet.
Well, what's funny is you were telling me you had a really hard time with the lizard fight. And I have to agree with you because when that happened, I was sweating. Yeah. And I was I already did side quests to get to that point. Like I was spending some time.
You were more powered than me at that point.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, I understand why Miguel had to like, you said you went down a level or something.
I did. I did.
I understand that because I remember doing that for Jedi Survivor. I was just like, okay, I can't do this. And so here,
I absolutely did that too.
And so here I was like, this was tough. And I had all like the extra abilities to kind of help me get through that. And that was I think that for me, that was probably the toughest one just because of where I was as a Spider-Man. Yeah.
Yes, I agree 100%. I don't know why it was as a boss fight, it's not super unique. You know what I mean? It isn't anything that's so like big. You've never seen, but it fucks you up just enough. I couldn't believe how many times I had to play that level. It seemed so simple at the start.
Yeah. I think the tail always surprises me. I realize like now that big characters like that, I always get too close and I never realize when their tail is like, or their item or their sword or their thing is like hitting.
They're going to get you.
It's too late. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Dude. My main takeaway is I cannot wait to play the story again. I'm just super looking forward to it. I'm having a lot of fun doing the side quests at the end right now, but I could see like an immediate drop off the moment I finish all of those side missions and there's nothing else to do. It's going to be like, well, I don't want to play this game anymore now. So I need them to come out with that new gameplay.
I know. I did. I went back and beat all the Mysterium levels that I hit bronze. And there's this one where it's like, you need to beat all these people in under a minute, 20 enemies in under a minute. When I first played it, I was like, this is impossible. And then I got all the gadgets and I was like, this is still hard. And I had all the gadgets.
Yeah.
And that was a good challenge. But some of them, the other Mysteriums, I was like, this is easy. Gadget, blah, 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 done. And got them. So it's fun feeling like a god playing through those levels.
Dude,
again.
I'm telling you. You're fucking them up.
But no, it was a good story. And there are moments when like Venom and Harry, they have this line like, we are your friend. And I was like, oh, this is some hard, because also like you spend time as Venom as well in that first part of the game. So Venom gets to know you as a person, and then you know Harry, and they're like, I don't know, it's some good stuff. What else do I have here? Symbiotic Nest was fun. I remember when they had to have 2 symbiotic nests that you had to protect.
Yeah. I didn't think I was going to like those levels at first, and I kind of dodged them for a little while. But man, they're kind of fun. I have a really good time playing those. And I've really found that most of the side levels that I was like, I just don't think I'm going to like these, I ultimately end up having a good time playing. So they're fun. And I don't know. I guess I'm in like side mission city right now, so I'm just glad to be still playing the game.
I remember there was 2 side stories that were pretty like, oh my god, this is kind of like depressing and sad and emotional. Oh
man,
2.
I played the Howard level.
Oh, you did,
and I was expecting multiple levels and then it leading to the ultimate end of this character.
Yeah.
And so the fact that it was like a one and done situation, I was like, oh, I wouldn't have rushed so much. And it was kind of funny because my wife came home while I was playing that mission. And it was right at the tail end of that mission. She was kind of like, okay, well, like, I'm home now. Are we going to hang out? You've been playing this game all day. Like, are we going to, and I was like, hey, real quick, I'm having like an emotional moment right now. Can you just give me a second? And she was like, okay, geez, my bad. And I was just like, and then the level was over, and I was like, "That's done. It's just done." Okay, but I had to
put the controller down too, because it was so. First of all, it was so beautiful going into the sunset with like these birds and the music, and then you come, and I'm like, I had to remember all those times with Howard, and I just like paused the game and just sat there, and impactful stuff.
I thought it was a really sweet opening to that level too, when it's clear like Peter Parker's asking him like, Howard, are you okay? And he's like looking at the city and you're kind of like looking at it with him, and
I like that too.
And I remember thinking, oh man, these fucking birds, like, am I gonna have to catch all these pigeons again?
That's what I was worried about too.
I was like, I don't want to do all this again. But then it was like, oh, let's take him home, let's get him somewhere new. And then he calls and he's like, oh yeah, and now anyway, but it was a very touching. I missed, because Kristen came home right at the end. I missed how he, spoiler alert, dies. Did they say, or is it?
I think he just had like, I don't remember either. Maybe a heart attack or something. Or
okay, I wasn't sure if he like killed himself. I
think he like just died.
Which is kind of wild. I mean, that's wild to be like, and I'm dead. You know what I mean?
I guess he knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away peacefully of natural causes.
Good for him. I remember he has this one line where he
no, go ahead.
Where he's like talking about, I worked in that factory for 20 years and then I was laid off, and I was just sitting there going like, wow, that shit really can just happen to you, where you know what I mean? You put all of your heart and energy into this one thing, and it gives you this life source, right? Like he probably had a home and a family and food on the table because of this job. And then one day that job was like, you're not important anymore. You need to go. You're not worth keeping on. And then how that kind of spiraled into where he was at the end of his life. And that was sad. That was a sad level.
But all like colored, there's just so many different colors to this game, and such a good time. And
go.
I
was going to ask you. This is like a general question. So the Game of the Year awards, you know what I mean? They just dropped.
Oh yeah.
The nominees for Best Game of the Year, and Spider-Man 2 is one of them, and it's with a lot of very popular games from this year.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of those you played.
Oof, not a lot. I'll tell you that.
Not a lot. Me too.
I could not give a expert opinion on which one should win.
That's
the wrong one.
That's fair. No, I just remember thinking that when I heard that Spider-Man was going to maybe be one of those games of the year, I was like, I just don't think it's really, because I remember I really enjoyed the first game a lot more.
Yeah.
Now, kind of getting back into it a little bit more, I do think that it is worthy to be up there. But and I haven't played the other game, so I don't know. But it's kind of like when you see one movie that's nominated for an Oscar, and you're like, oh yeah, that movie's totally gonna win. And it's like, movies, you know. So I don't know. I was just curious if you had any insight on that.
Yeah, I mean, like I do actually. I mean, I don't know. I haven't played the first one a bit, but I do like the second one. I think the story is more impactful than the first one, and so that a lot of the moments are a lot cooler, and it builds off of that first one. I like the second one, but I mean, Zelda, that's a big component. What else is there? It's a game of the year.
It's like Zelda, Baldur's Gate 3.
That's big too.
That's one of the big ones that I've heard a lot about. Alan Wake 2.
Oh, I heard. Yeah, see, all of these are good. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, I still haven't played, but I want to play.
I want to play that one.
Resident Evil is like the fan favorite of all Resident Evil games.
Wow. I've never really played those, so I don't have a dog in that fight.
But no, all of these are. I mean, I can't even. I have no opinion on which one will win. So,
what's crazy is sometimes I play these games and I go, "Yeah, absolutely, this should be game of the year." I think this one's a tough year. There's a lot of really good, a lot of games that I've heard people talk about a lot. So I'm like, I don't think it's a shoe-in for.
I think I sent you a link. It was like this year was just insane for video games. There's so many good video games. I wish I had the doc, but there was just so many really good games.
Well, listen, we don't want to overtalk it. The people are sleepy.
Well, this is for us, for you and me. But yeah, no, we were super great game. Can't wait for the DLC. Yeah, that's it, man. I loved it. So happy I got to platinum this thing.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to play it too. I was worried there for a second. It was going to take you a while to get into it. But yeah,
my ADHD hyper focus kicked in high gear for this one.
Hard, dude. I could tell.
Sarah was like, I got to do something for 15 minutes. It's like, great, beep beep. And I was like, I could do a couple levels real quick. I could do a couple side missions. And she's like, you're done. I was like, okay. And then the day would go. I was like, I'm gonna go take a shower. Great, I have 15 minutes. Beep beep. And then I would open it up and just. Okay, I'll accomplish these side missions, you know?
That's what's so great about the PS5 is how quickly it opens these games, man.
Yeah.
Like, I think I mentioned it before Spider-Man 2 came out. I was playing the first Spider-Man game again, the PS5 version. And it's just amazing how from the time that I select the game to the time that I'm swinging around as Spider-Man, I mean, it's lickety split, dude.
Yeah, yeah. And, I get so pissed when it's like, we've updated the game. I'm like, God damn it. Now I gotta go through the whole, and now I have to go through the whole intro again, like, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, okay, let's get to it. I need to get to the level.
Yeah. No, yeah, I tell you, dude, I'm ready to go XXX. I'm there. No, I've actually turned off the beeping sound for the PlayStation. They did an update in the PS5 where you can take that function off. Yeah, and it's been. I'd like to say that it helps because then it's like a sneaky thing. Yes. But then the PlayStation menu music and everything, all those sounds are still there. So like the one day that I tried to get away with it, I woke up early and I was like, I'm gonna play some Spider-Man by myself. Everyone's asleep. And I mean, I tell you, before I even got to the menu of Spider-Man 2, my son was walking out of the bedroom and he was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, no. Damn it!" Well, I was this close to doing it.
Did you have the headphones plugged into the controller?
Oh, baby, I have the PlayStation for my birthday. I bought the PlayStation headphones. And I had those queued up and ready to go. The beep was turned off. I was like, okay, I'm ready. Oh, so maybe he didn't hear. Maybe he was just waking up. It's like I stirred or something. I don't know. Well, but I was texting Ed and I was telling him I couldn't believe he woke up already.
Well, the thing is, like, I don't have the Bluetooth headphones. I don't know if it works the same, but I have like headphones that have to plug into the controller.
To the controller, yeah.
So when you first turn it on, it's the first opening thing for the life of me. It's through the TV, and then once I select my profile, then it goes to my headphones. But so that one beep, that loud ass beep, already notifies the whole house of what's going on. So I try to
telling you, turn the beep off. You can turn the beep off at least.
Okay. I don't know what I'm gonna play now. I feel like I have my life again. You know, when I go into these like little bouts of like video games, I don't have a life for a long time. I'm like, Sarah's like, "You're really into this game." I'm like, I know. Just give me some time. I'll be done with this life in 2 weeks. Like,
I know. That's what I tried.
Now I can do. Now I can do my budget. I can handle my budget. I can do like my life things.
Yes, exactly. And I was telling Kristen, I was like, look, there's so few games every year that I really sit down and I'm like, I have to play this game right now. I have to get through it or it's going to get spoiled. But I like to think for the most part I'm not super obnoxious with it. But I'll tell you what, when Spider-Man 3 comes out, I'm going to be right there ready to play day one.
Yeah. You know, what's funny is after this game, I went to IGN and I looked at all the posts that I ignored. I was like, now I can enjoy all of these.
Get it.
And
all those reels and TikToks I've been sending, you know what I mean? It's let's get into it, dude.
I get it now. Like, ooh, yeah, Matt Murdock's sign wasn't on there in the beginning.
Oh.
I learned, like, you can do the Rubik's Cube trick? I didn't know that. And so, whatever.
Were you there the day that Yuri, what's his name? The guy that plays Spider-Man, Peter Parker? He came to the office for some content. Were you there that day?
I was there, but I was working. So I just kind of, he was, on the other side of the hallway.
Way too far to go say hi. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to be a creep. You know what I mean? I'd be like, hi, I'm not interviewing you, but
he'd be like, who are you? Yes, Luis, I've seen you in a couple of the clips.
Yeah, thanks, Yorgos. Okay, so that was it. Spider-Man 2, man.
That was for us.
Play next. That was for you and me. I think maybe next, I guess, is going to be when I get back from the New Year's. Last of Us Part 2. Okay.
It's so incredibly important, Luis, that you and I have check-ins while you're playing that game, okay? Because I want to talk your ear off about that. Okay. Ed is never going to play that game as much as I want him to play video games. Like, you are my video game person, okay? Yeah. I have to check in with you when you play that game. You also have to play Grand Theft Auto 5. I think you should play that game.
I have enough time to play that game. That GTA 6 is going to come out for years.
That's what I'm saying.
So
I'm not saying
I could play it in 2020, 2026, 2025,
For real. Whenever after that trailer drops, you have good 3 years. So all right, but no, we'll talk more about it. There's going to be some good ones. Last of Us for sure. I'm probably going to play Super Mario Wonder over Christmas because I'm imagining the boy's going to get that. That's true. I want to play that too. Yeah. So we have games. We're ready to go. Well, hey everybody, thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to me and Miguel just talk about Spider-Man 2. Genuinely wanted to. That was like a little bonus episode. Yeah, it was. You should pay extra, but we're giving it to you for free. Next week, we're going to talk about something. I don't know what it's going to be, but tune in Thanksgiving is next week, so it's going to be a weird. It's going to be a weird week for us. It's going to be a weird time, honestly. Yeah, up until holidays are going to be weird in general. To be honest, yeah. I'd say. Let me look at the calendar here. Probably up until January 10th, maybe January 17th. You guys remember how weird our episodes were after your wedding? It'll just be more of that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. We're in an experimental phase right now, so I hope we do an episode where we all are live together. Oh, we keep talking about it every year. Christmas is right around the corner. We got to make it. I'm taking extra PTO for Christmas this year, so I'm going to be able to stay a little bit longer. Okay, we'll talk offline and figure out some of the dates and stuff. Done. Okay. All right. It's been me, Luis Gonzalez. With me's been Miguel Sanchez. And Ed Ball was here too. And Ed Ball was here too. Bye bye, Ed. And until next time, bye bye. Bye.